1.
Thank you very much, Vice Chancellor.
Thank you, sir.
Places where elections were not held?
Yes, sir, there were cancellations. The number of registered voters is 22,335. The PVC collected 21544. Reason for cancellation, it's overvoting.
Okay, thank you very much, Corp Bielsa. Party agents, any observations, any comments? Okay, thank you very much. Please step forward to present the result.
Good evening, I am Maureen Menongwe. This is the news update. The vice presidential candidates of the Labour Party, Dati Baba Ahmed, and the People's Democratic Party, Ifeanyi Okowa, have asked the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to cancel the general elections. Speaking on Tuesday at a media briefing held in Abuja, they accused INEC of breaching the law by not uploading the election results to its online portal. They described the election as a
to tell the world what has happened, why the results were not uploaded. The reason, what happened in INEC? Why was it that they could not upload the results? So something is wrong. Something is wrong inside INEC. Either they have connived or their system is down, but they must tell us the truth. If the system was down and they knew it was down, they ought to have postponed the elections.
Governments have fallen in Africa because of the price of bread went up. The entire Arab world 11, 12 years ago went up in crisis because a young man burned himself in broad daylight. Anybody waiting to hear call to arms from ourselves will never hear it. We're peaceful people. He will never hear. Anybody who wishes to change what we are saying, what I am saying, is welcome to try it. I will never call for violence. I will continue to say that democracy belongs to the people who can practice it. Good governance belongs to the people who can demand it. Dividends of democracy belong to those who can take it. It is left for Nigerians to do these things I mentioned.
Meanwhile, the All Progressive Congress Presidential Campaign Council has enjoined the presidential candidate Tinubu, saying the February 25th presidential election has already been won by their candidate. The Special Advisor, Media, Public Affairs and Strategic Communications of APC Presidential Campaign Council, Dele Alake, said this at a press conference in Abuja on Tuesday.
They never acted in deepening and sustaining this democracy. It is easy for them to want to scuttle it. But those of us who are part and parcel of the democratic struggle, we knew what we went through. Our principal went through the crucibles, harassment, oppression, suppression, and the whole works to get this democracy in place. So we are prepared to nurture it. And the result in Lagos is also an eloquent testimony to the fairness of this process. If anything, any lesson is to be drawn from the Lagos results today, it is that when Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is eventually declared by the umpire INEC as the legitimately elected president of this country, nobody should complain about the process, because
the House of Reps candidate for Labour Party for House of Reps in the just concluded poll, Emilia Uzode, has expressed dissatisfaction with the process of the election. She alleged that the election was flawed, citing overvoting and rigging by the INEC officials. Our correspondent Paul George reports.
Chanting solidarity songs, Labour Party members and the House of Representatives candidate for Ajeromi Felodun constituency in Lagos, Emilia Abiodun Uzode, showed their grievances concerning the election. Uzode alleged that the votes were doctored to favor the All Progressives Congress candidate.
The people trooped to vote on Saturday and expect their will to reflect in the results of the ballot. Lo and behold, the enemy of our democracy, who have sold their conscience to the devil, perfected their act of rigging. There is clear evidence that there is sabotage of the electoral process to give room to chaotic, fraudulent collation with our Electoral Act 2023 instead of the original result from the polling units. Figure manipulation is too obvious to ignore. Collation officers will get the power to allocate, influence, deflate, and the vote cast at the polling unit against the clear provisions of our electoral law. This criminality cannot be allowed to stand. These shenanigans was prominent in Ajeromi Felodun Federal Constituency election. Electoral kidnapping and Yahoo results shall not be encouraged. At the doctor's figure, and all the doctor's figures shall be contested, and the original result shall be defended in the interest of justice. We appeal to citizens of Ajeromi Felodun Federal Constituency to remain calm and law-abiding.
The campaign DG of Labour Party in the constituency, Ike Onyabo, reels out the words where the alleged irregularities occurred. His words are corroborated by the party agent who was on the ground.
The INEC people cajoled our officers to sign it, and they said they will remove like 500 votes from that of APC. You cannot remove 500 votes arbitrarily. How did they get 2,000 excess votes and you now remove 500 arbitrarily? One of the polling unit agents that refused to record for Labour Party in his own polling unit, he refused to come. He came there around past 4.
There was a polling unit where we noticed there was overvoting. We spoke to the rec and he said it's not in our place to defend it or counter it. It's there for INEC to notice this, and then if they want to take any action, they should. Why shouldn't they correct it at that level, since it's happening within the same environment, rather than leaving it and adding to the results? I wanted to make a video. One of them said he was going to hit me, one of the collation officer, and the people around me raised fracas and asked him, why do you think you will intimidate her and tell her you want to slap her if she makes a video? The
candidate is confident she will get back her mandate. Paul George, Plus TV News.
Nigeria's former president Olusegun Obasanjo has said it is no secret that INEC officials at operational levels have been allegedly compromised following the manual transmission of results, which has been manipulated and doctored. Obasanjo made this known while addressing newsmen in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. He said most of the results that are brought outside Beavers and Server are not true reflection of the will of Nigerians who have made their individual choice. The former
for immediate transmission of results and to revert to manual transmission of results, which is manipulated and the results doctored. The chairman of INEC may claim ignorance, but he cannot fold his hands and do nothing when he knows that election process has been corrupted, and most of the results that are brought outside Beavers and Server are not true reflection of the will of Nigerians who have made their individual choice. Your Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, tension is building up, and please let all elections that do not pass the credibility and transparency test be cancelled and be brought back, with areas where elections were disrupted, for next Saturday, March 4, 2023.
America triumph in 2021 renewed his contract after meeting with AFA President Claudio Tapia in Paris on Monday. Claudio Tapia and Lionel Scaloni met to close the extension of the contract as coach of the senior selection until 2026, the AFA said in a statement. Tapia traveled to Paris to attend FIFA's The Best Awards, where Scaloni is favored to win Best Coach of 2022. Well, that's the news update. For more stories, please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel at Plus TV Africa and Plus TV Africa Lifestyle. You can also view us from Limex on limex.tv and Glow TV apps anywhere in the world. I am Maureen Menong. Many thanks for watching.
Four, 2, 8, 4, 5, 3, 4, 1. I will take it again. Please. 5, 1, 7, 3, 4.
Wait. Please, slowly take the figures.
Thank you. APC, 517.
No. Check the figures.
No, sorry, no. It's 517.
Check the figures, yes. Professor Wilbes.
517. 56. APC, sorry, please. This is what I have.
Nation Secretary.
51734.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we go to Kebbi State. Okay, Administrator Kebbi.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Mohammed Ahmad Ushama, the Administrative Secretary, Kebbi State.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Professor Yusuf Saidu, one of the Deputy Vice Chancellors of the Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto. I am the State Collation Officer for the presidential election of 25th February 2023 in Kebbi State. The results for the presidential election held on 25th February 2023 in Kebbi State are as follows. 1. Total number of registered voters 2032041. Total number of accredited voters 599,201. Total number of votes received by the presidential candidates of each of the political parties are as follows. Party A, 301. Party AA, 306. Party AAC, 243. Party ADC, 837. Party ADP, 1251. Party APC, 24807. Party APP, 338. Party BP, 272. Party LP, 10682. Party NNPP, 5038. Party NRM, 1405. Party PDP, 285175. Party PRP, 2027. Party SDP, 1126. Party YPP, 392. Party ZLP, 460. Total number of valid votes, 559,522. Total number of rejected votes, 31,953. Total votes cast, 591,475. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Places where elections were cancelled or
Yes, there are.
not held?
Yes, sir. Number of PVC collected was 4,156, and the areas affected were 10 polling units in 7 RAs of the state. The reason for the cancellation was refusal of voters to use beavers for accreditation and, in some cases, violence.
How many registered voters?
The number of registered voters in the affected areas were 4,419.
Okay. Party agents, any comment, any observation? Okay, can I reconcile?
Yes, sir. Sorry, Chairman, it's actually not a reconciliation. A correction was effected, but unfortunately it was not saved, so a wrong figure was projected. The figure that I read earlier stands correct. But I would start again from the party's performance. A party 347, AA 729, AAC 551, ADC 2845, ADP 2602, APC 517341, APGA APG 1253, APM 3170, APP 533, BP 364, LP NRM 1052, PDP 13179, ZLP 1790. Total valid votes 1702005. Rejected votes 44405. Total vote cast 1746410.
Okay, areas where elections were not held or otherwise cancelled.
Yeah, there are areas where election was cancelled as a result of either overvoting or violence. In those areas, total number of registered votes is 216,165, involving 197 PU in 103 areas. Total PVC collected 99502. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Scope for Kano. Party agents, any observations?
Presented, there is a discrepancy of notion was made, but it didn't reflect. My question is, at what point was the upload made, and at what point was the correction made? Is the question, sir?
Okay, the question is over to you, Scope.
Thank
Please
you.
answer.
When we finished, it was uploaded. In the process, in one QQ appeared rather than a figure. It's a software against comfortability. QQ appeared. When we came, they saw the QQ. We give them the exact correct result, and they put it, and it was. When they put that, it tallied with our
second leg of my question.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I want to use the opportunity to say the reason why some of the agents were advocating that the upload should be displaced, that the transmission, is this kind of mistake. If that
agent anymore?
Yeah, I'm Aminu Sadijaji, APC agent. Mine is just for the scope to reflect the cancellation, the number of PVC collected, and the number of registered voters affected, as well as the PUs and the LGA. Thank you.
Okay, Scope, you still have the EC40G?
Yes.
On which you recorded the incidents?
Yes.
So please go over the figures again.
Number of PC collected 99502. 99502. total number of registered voters 216,165. 216,165.
Are you satisfied? Okay, please speak to the microphone so he hears you.
So the polling unit as the registration areas.
197 polling units, 103 RS.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Any more for Kano? Okay, Scott, please step forward and submit the result. Okay, next is Zamfara State. Zamfara State, Resident Electoral Commissioner and scope, please. Okay, go ahead, Rek, introduce yourself and the scope too.
My name is Professor Saidu Barbara Ahmad. I am the resident electoral commissioner, Zamfara State.
My name is Professor Kasim Shehu, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Federal University, Binding Kabi, Coalition Officer, Presidential Election 2023, Zamfara State.
Yeah, please go ahead and present the result.
Total number of registered voters, 1926870. Total number of accredited voters, 527,137. Party A, 122. AA, 210. AAC, 99. ADC, 582. ADP, 855. APC, 298396. APGA 921, APM 218, APP 149, BP 44, LP 1660, NNPP 404, PRP 266, SDP 81. Total number of ballot votes 502923. Total number of rejected votes 16508. Total vote cast 519431.
Okay, places where elections were not held or cancelled?
Yes, we have. Total number of local government number of registered votes affected 1,00411. Number of PVCs collected 97484.
Reasons for the cancellations?
Overvoting and voters' refusal to use the B-bus.
Okay, party agents, any observation, any comments? Okay, thank you. Scope Zampara, please come forward along with the rec. So please give him the microphone. Should they wait behind or is not directed? Okay. Can you give him the microphone? Okay.
To use the B-bus. So we need clarification on this one. Is it the voters or the INEC or the ad hoc staff? Thank you.
You should have asked the question while the rec is around for specific, the scope was around for specific clarification. Under our regulations, if there is community connivance to refuse deliberately to use the beavers, our regulations provide for a zero score for that polling unit. It means that the intention is actually to cheat.
You have clarified the question already. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Well noted.
So, which state did we? Okay, it was Zamfara. Next is Sokoto State. Sokoto State. Reg Sokoto. Cross River. shall then make his presentation.
Okay. My name is Dr. Noura Ali, Resident Electoral Commissioner, Sokoto State.
My name is Professor Kabiru Bala, the Vice Chancellor, Ahmadu Bello University. I am the State Collation Officer for the presidential election of 25th February 2023 in Sokoto State. The results for the presidential election held on 25th February 2023 in Sokoto State as follows. These are the scores for the presidential candidates. Party A. Okay. Total number of accredited registered voters 2172056. 2172056. Total number of accredited voters 619,492. 619,492. The total number of votes received by the presidential candidate of each of the political parties as follows. Party A, 115. Party A, 115. Party AA, 486. 486. Party ADP, 1105. 1105. Party APC, 285444. 285444. Party APGA, 808. 808. Party APM, 273. 273. Party APP, 219. 219. Party BP, 126. 126. Party LP, 6568. 6568. Party NNPP, 1300. 1300. Party NRM, 687. 687. Party PDP, 288679. 288679. Party PRP, 5. Party ZLP, 208. 208. Total number of valid votes, 586,875. 586.
Okay, thank you very much, Scope. Areas where elections were not held or cancelled, the details and reasons.
Yes, thank you, sir. The total number of cancelled votes was 118,497. 118,497 in 122 polling units, 75 RAs.
Okay, party agents, any? Oh, sorry, number of PVCs collected.
103, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. 103,089. 103089.
Okay, party agents, any observations, any comments? Okay, in the absence of any observations or comments, please step forward and submit your report and result. Secretariat anymore? Okay, I think after 15 states at a stretch, we deserve a 2-hour break. So other coalition officers are on their way. I think one is here already. 3 are approaching the coalition center. So at this point, we shall take a 2-hour break and return at 9 p.m. Thank you very much.
For upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Bookie November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
How can we have peace without justice?
Plus Politics. It's not just another political conversation, it's about keeping you in the know. The relevant interviews, asking the tough questions to those that matter. Get the answers you need. Does it mean that the people who were injured, people who were shot at, those who were involved in that stampede are not going to get justice?
It is unfortunate, it is sad that we have a government of deaf and dumb.
Analysis from top experts.
The last election was not really an election.
We feel that Obasanjo has a very special place in his heart for hating Ijaw people.
I think it really boils down to two things. One, trust and accountability.
Plus Politics, every weeknight at 7 p.m. on Plus TV Africa.
My name is Yemi Sholade. I am an actor, and proudly so. Here is my good old days story. I recall as a toddler growing up in Surulere in Lagos, ours was a life of communal living. Every family knew one another, and the children played together in the neighborhood. We played football, we rode bicycles, we flew the kite. We even climbed mango trees, guava trees, and went after the masquerades. Calabar masquerades. The one we called Ojuju Calabar in those days. Interestingly, in those days, electricity was 24 hours constant. Public water works was efficient. Free-flowing water drawn from these taps were filled in bottles in our refrigerators. No one talked about typhoid and other waterborne diseases. So good old days. Days when houses had no fences. We would sit across those low fences at sunset and gist all days till night. When everyone knew one another in the neighborhood, we wouldn't forget street football and would forget we would leave our homes, go to a neighbor's place, eat, and even pass the night. In those days of Levante's department stores, especially in Surulere, we had our own fair share of pranks and youthful exuberance. Was it the days I chased a lady thinking she was biracial, those you call half-caste, just for me to discover she was an albino? I retraced my steps and lady felt so bad. But now I know better. Or was it days when I was fascinated with the white naval uniform and I told my uncle I would like to join the Navy? On the day of the examination, I got there late and I saw how those who came late like me were being treated. They were flogged with koboko. You know koboko? Twisted. It was even twisted wire that they had whipped. That was it. I took off difference in the society. Getting rich quick was certainly not one of our aspirations in those good old days. Relevance and impact drove our passion. I recall my young days as an actor, training in the University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University. I was given a role to play in a stage play titled An Inspector Calls, adaptation by Professor Ame Yerima. We had to run this play for 3 nights. Interestingly, on the final night, something spectacular happened in a scene where I had to stand very close to the audience at the edge of the stage. I discovered there was this delirious moment. Members of the audience were laughing their heads off, and I was wondering why, because that scene ignited nothing of such. Lo and behold, what did I find out when I left that spot to sit? I discovered that the zipper of my trousers was open, and obviously that gentleman was peeping out on the audience. It was one of the most embarrassing moments in my career as an actor. But do you know what? Such moments fired in us the determination to go on and not look back. Those were those days too where there were no room for half-created prisons, building walls around us for fear of intruders. These days you hardly know your neighbors. These days the walls are even higher than that of maximum prisons. All the doors, the windows are protected by burglary proofs. We now generate our own electricity, generate our own water, and even repair roads in the neighborhood. I attended public schools, but what do we have now? Our children these days don't even know anything about public schools. The health system is collapsing. In our days, we were treated at public health centers. The facilities were there. But today, you are your own doctor, your caregiver, and even your pharmacist. How can only spell doom for a nation? We can make it work. I trust in our collective ability to employ the experience of our past to make a glorious future. Let us attempt to make the difference now for the sake of our children's tomorrow. I therefore join Sir Shemo Rebadejo in this collective drive towards a greater tomorrow. Let's go there. Thank you.
Businesses in Africa can be very challenging. In Nigeria, it is particularly intimidating and successful builders have learned how to navigate a hostile environment to unlock opportunities. But one major challenge businesses face is how to filter through the noise and identify where their ideal customers exist. Get insight and practical steps from industry players and captains of industries. Hear success stories to help you make informed decisions as you scale your business in Nigeria. Watch Business Insights at this time on Plus TV Africa.
Nigeria's Niger Delta region, from where the black gold fuels Africa's largest economy, where the lines between wealth and poverty has never been thinner. Conflicts, poverty, insecurity, and environmental challenges daily confront the region. How can the Niger Delta story be changed for the better?
Join Mamude Akuga at 9.
INEC continues results collation despite protests in Abuja and other states across Nigeria, even as party stalwarts react to announced results. This is still Ballot 2023, and my name is Nyamguru Agaji. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) commenced the last stage of the collation and announcement of the results of the presidential election since Sunday. This year's general election is the 7th since the restoration of democracy in the country. The previous elections were held in 1999, 2003, 2007, 2011, 2015, and 2019 respectively. This one is described as the most keenly contested poll in Nigeria's contemporary political history, and the ballot had 18 registered political parties to be voted for. Let's take a look at the announced results in each state. Well, those were most of the results already announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission. We remember that proceedings just halted before the program at the INEC Collation Center in Abuja to resume in 2 hours' time, that is at 9 p.m. Of the ongoing collation and declaration of the results of Saturday's presidential INEC portal from the polling units. They complained about widespread discrepancies in the results of the poll and asked the Electoral Commission to halt the proceedings at the collation center and address their complaints. Let's see reactions by party stalwarts on the announced results so far.
Where do you start from? Is it the results that have been manipulated that you can correct? So the best thing to be done is for us to repeat the process. After all, if you send your child to school and the child fails, he repeats the class. So INEC should repeat the class since they have failed incorrectable, and therefore the process should be repeated.
If you look at the results from Bauchi and Gombe, they are exactly the same results. Bauchi APC has 146,977. Gombe, 2 different states. APC have also 146,977. PDP in Bauchi has 319,123. PDP in Gombe has 319,123. Labour Party has 26,000 in Bauchi. They have 26,160. In Gombe, they also have 26,160.
The election under the very law that we all applauded. So the right thing to do is for the INEC chairman to truly go forward and cancel the elections. Unfortunately, he has not come out to tell the world what has happened, why the results were not uploaded. There is a question mark there. He should be truthful. As I said, section 26, he had taken an oath to be neutral and impartial. Therefore, he must speak to Nigerians and tell Nigerians the truth. And the truth is, they could not upload the results. What happened in INEC? Why was it that they could not upload the results? So something is wrong. Something is wrong inside INEC. Either they have connived or their system is down. But they must tell us the truth. If the system was down and they knew it was down, they ought to have
broad daylight. Anybody waiting to hear call to arms from ourselves will never hear it. We're peaceful people. He will never hear. Anybody who wishes to change what we are saying, what I am saying, is welcome to try it. I will never call for violence. I will continue to say that democracy belongs to the people who can practice it. Good governance belongs to the people who can demand it. Dividends of democracy belongs to those who can take it. It is left for Nigerians to do these things I mentioned.
They never acted in deepening and sustaining this democracy. It is easy for them to want to scuttle it. But those of us who were part and parcel of the democratic struggle, we knew what we went through. Our principal went through the crucibles, harassment, oppression, suppression, to the fairness, being demonstrably fair and just, as exemplified by the results in Lagos, which we are not even contesting now.
In Lagos also, aggrieved residents in various polling units have challenged results being called out by INEC. And joining us live tonight to air their opinion is Ihe Ibeji, a communication analyst, and Dr. Adefolasheye Adebayo, a Secretary and Mobilization Officer in Lagos State. Good evening and welcome, gentlemen.
Good evening, good evening, viewers. Thank you so much for having me this evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah.
He's a mobilizing officer for the Lagos State Presidential Campaign Council.
Okay, Lagos State Presidential Campaign Council. Of which party?
Of the Labour Party.
Of the Labour Party. Good. So we have a legal practitioner, Justice Uhegbu, also joining us to discuss the chances of each candidate according to the results being announced. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Okay, let me start with the Presidential Campaign Council mobilization officer in Lagos State for the Labour Party. We do know that Labour Party had some concerns, especially here in Lagos, yesterday when the results were being read out, and there were some complaints coming from your party. What were specifically these complaints?
Rivers could not upload the results. Some other centers where ballot boxes were snatched. Some other complaints where they did not start on time. Some other complaints where even the INEC officials themselves did not even know these passwords, or some were even clueless on what to do. So these were just some of the complaints.
And some other parties, but nobody seems to be talking about this, especially INEC, which has said that whatever problems there might be, they should be addressed in court. Everybody should go to court and do that. So today we are only talking about the 25%, and nothing seems to be said about the complaints that have come from the field. What does that tell you? What is your take on what is happening right now, that nobody is talking, especially INEC? It's not talking about complaints, but just talking about who will likely be the winner after the count.
I think that it tells me that they don't. There seems to be I don't know, will it be a concerted, or will it be a strategic move to defocus from the actual issues, because they initially brought to the fore to reassure Nigerians time and time and time again, even before the election period came into force. If you recall, I mean, this is an umpire that only goes ahead to organize this kind of elections once in 4 years. So the belief is that, I mean, there's been a budget has been placed and been put on ground, and preparations have been made. So when the beavers came up and the electronic transmission of results from the fields came up, it gave a lot of assurance to both the electorate and the political parties that this was going to be a different kind of elections. So it's a kind of a shocker that the umpire is more process was not followed. For instance, when we finished at the field in terms of voting, and this is something that's been expressed by several parties. I mean, I experienced this live. The coalition officers could definitely not have any inkling of how to upload the thing on Beavers. Now they could even get the link. Repeat, you still need to look at these issues very, very critically, because these issues are the foundation of whatever problems that are currently being complained about by the various political parties and the electorate out there. So it's important. It seems like a deviation for you not to look at the issues on ground and instead focus on just talking about just releasing the result. Except of course the umpire is saying that at the end of announcing the results, then they begin to look at the issues. But that's, like, for me, is, so to speak, putting the cart after the horse. But I mean, that is what really appears, and it's really quite numbing from my point of view.
Okay, Dr. Adebayo, let me just come back to you. You've made these complaints from yesterday. Labour Party began to complain that you have put forward these complaints that you have put forward that are being allegedly ignored by INEC. What will be the next step?
Okay, there was a little bit break in transmission. So if I believe I heard you correctly, what you're trying to say is that with all these complaints and INEC not responding, what is the stand of Labour Party, or what are we doing about it?
Correct.
I believe that's
correct.
What you're trying to say. Now, first of all, it's like you found a thief in your house. And you found the thief. The thief kept taking things from your house. And you asked the person that gave you the house that I found a thief in my house.
And he said, please let the thief continue stealing. That don't worry, we'll not get to the gates. Before it gets to the gates, let us just continue to do other things and do as if the thief is not existing. By the time you decide to do something, the thief has stolen, has caused so much damage, then you now say we should start doing damage control. What I know is that prevention is better than cure. From the beginning, more or less, I would say we are deceived, or we are meant to believe that will delay the transmission. They spent God knows how many billion to set this thing up. Was it not test run? Was there no practice? Was there no practice? Now, the challenges were so enormous, and because for the first time, so many people came out, because for the first time, there were so many first-time voters that believed in this process, and they believed that this will be the game changer. And only for INEC PDP, one from the Labour Party, which is myself, and one from the P5, YPP1, and 9 votes were avoided, and we signed. And once we signed, and it was time to upload, in fact, initially, the story was, oh, it cannot be uploaded. He did not know what to do. And when the pressure was so much, you can imagine people have been left their houses from 7 a.m. As at 8 p.m., we were struggling whether we are going to, whether this vote will be uploaded, and policemen came. They were trying to pressure us to leave the place. And we have heard so many things that at the collation centers, that people are being harassed, people are being bullied, people are being intimidated, some people that there were shots in the air. So we are so determined that we should, with our votes should be uploaded. Only at the end of the day, thanks to some of the IT persons at our center who followed us there, and they were able to end of the day, when it was uploaded, it was even uploaded offline. And we asked what's the meaning of offline upload. What we are given that whenever this problem at the server is solved, then it will be uploaded. I want to put it to the INEC chairman. What he's doing is not right. It is immoral. It is against the normal ethics values for human life, for normal sanctity of this nation. Because first of all, if you tell us this, then don't change the goalpost. You will change it. You will say 4 legs good today, 2 animals with 2 legs are good. Then tomorrow it is the animals that have 4 legs. This is inappropriate. You cannot say we should wait to the end of an illegal process. And you know our courts are in Nigeria. It's more like you are in one chance, because there are so many things that have gone in the past, and nobody trusts the system anymore. What stops them from uploading? If there is nothing wrong, if there's no undertone, or there's no clandestine thing, why has my polling unit since Saturday not been uploaded, even from this offline to the online, so that people will see it? And it is what you see, you can query. Okay. And so many of these issues in which agents are being intimidated, people signing false EC8A forms, and meanwhile, this is being projected to Nigerians. And other people have been shouting, we cannot continue this process. For me, I think this process should stop. If it means let us wait till this thing is rectified, let us wait.
Okay.
But as it is right now, there's a lot of disenfranchisement in different places. People have not been voting Nigeria to change, that Nigeria should be a better country. Many people came out, the youth came out, the elderly came out to make things good, and yet this is what we are getting. It is unacceptable.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's go now to Justice Hiegbu. You are a legal practitioner. I'm sure you have seen the Electoral Act and seen all the conditions for declaring someone a winner, the conditions for the voting process, the conditions for declaring or cancelling votes in a particular area, and so many other things. But most importantly, the powers of INEC to do and undo, as it were. Okay, so will you say what INEC is doing? Because INEC has said that whoever has a problem should take it to the courts. Is it because INEC does not have the power to prosecute or to hold people who have done wrong accountable? Or it's just something that is new to the electoral law and to all the promises that we were given before now? Tell us about the powers of INEC, and if what it is doing right now is the proper thing to do, to let everything just go, no matter the discrepancies that have been found, until the process is over. Please enlighten us on that, Justice. Justice Ihuegbu, can you hear us? Please unmute yourself because we can't hear you. Okay. Until Justice is able to join us, let me return to Ihebeji. Ihechukwu, you were there. I just asked Justice a question now. I don't know if you have an answer to that. Because INEC was supposed to have the power to stop the collation if need be, to cancel election where necessary, and to answer the questions that Nigerians are asking. Unfortunately, INEC is saying that whatever question, whatever...
What you're saying, you're trying to say that, you're trying to find out that, you're trying to ask, I mean, the position of INEC of not taking a particular action at this point, even before continuing vote counting, if it is a position that maybe legally should be right. Now, while I may not be a lawyer or have the legal knowledge that the voting, the counting, the collation of results and announcement of results should stop. That power, he has that power. I recall that in his response, he says that power is left at his discretion to utilize, and that I think that he said something about waiting to the end of the entire process before beginning to tackle the issues that have allegedly been put on ground by the various political parties. I think that is a position that he has taken.
But cancel an election in a particular place where there are problems, then why is he having to make Nigerians wait till the end of the exercise? What if someone is declared a winner and then you begin to start litigation at that point? Of what benefit will it be?
While I may have my own, because while we're bemused and aggrieved with respect to how the system has gone, there is also that other part of us that speaks to the unity and calmness after the whole process. And I want to believe that is the line he's towing, because it will be much easier to say that the INEC chairman could have just stopped the entire collation and announcement of the results and then take further action to go ahead to, of course, redo the process. But there's some showing those of them at the collation center that the beavers works by reflecting on the screens there if there was actually any results that were uploaded. Now that is a proof that if it is shown and is shown wrongly, it causes another problem on its own, if you understand what I mean. So yes, he has the powers to actually exercise the discretion of saying, I will stop this based on this, which is what some people expected him to do, but that on its own part also can cause another different kind of uproar. I want to also believe that when he means at the end of the process, he is talking about tackling all the issues that have been raised even before the parties can then begin to go into litigation. Then, if that is what he means, if that is what it allegedly means, then that is also another discretion of his powers. The law probably has given him the powers to go ahead to stop collation and tackle the issues, which is one way to look at it. But I think that what he is doing right now is an exercise of the discretion of those powers, which a lot of Nigerians may not like, but which is the line that he's currently towing right now. It is actually not it's actually a very sad thing. It's actually not a very good thing that we're at this point, because a lot of people, a lot of Nigerians, me included, it is now a great responsibility on the INEC chairman and the entire umpire system to ensure that just those votes count either way. And that's exactly what all Nigerians are looking up to, now that he has exercised the discretion of his powers to go ahead and conclude the collation to the end of the collation.
Oh, okay. Dr. Adebayo, I know I did ask you this, what the position of Labour Party was, and you told me that your position was that till the end of this counting. What do you think, or what step will the Labour Party likely take to make sure these issues are addressed?
All right. First of all, I want to say that the decision of Labour Party is already out in the open. our MD spoke about. We've also heard what the Labour Party spokesperson talked. We've also even heard what our wonderful and past president Olusegun Obasanjo has even said in an open letter to our president Muhammad Buhari. And also, we have also listened to what the DG Akin Oshitokun has talked about. Also, the Lagos DG Chief Shupo has already told every one of us to be calm. We should not go the violent route. Our deputy presidential candidate, Datitu, has said the same thing. We are not violent people. We are known for law and order. We are not violent. We will allow the law take its course. Aisha Yusufu, which is also a spokesperson, has also said the same thing. We don't have to go into the streets because they may want to lure the obedient to the streets. We will follow the rule of law, taking our evidences and gathering our evidences for this fight. Every fight does not have to end on the streets with shedding of blood. We will not take that route, no matter the provocations, the meetings of Labour Party with the other parties today was urging the president of Nigeria, President Muhammad Buhari, to toe the line of leaving a good legacy for himself and doing the right thing, which is what is best for the people. So for the part of Labour Party, we will not be violent. We will not go to the streets. We will not partake of any protest that causes violence. We will not be involved in anything that will cause destruction of life and property. We will go the route of the legal process, and by the grace of God, justice will take its course. However, we are still appealing to the chairman to do what is right, leave a good legacy for his name. Let this process that he has said is a game changer, let it be what it is, because any wrong step will send a bad signal to the young people of Nigeria that for the first time, many people have come out to vote. They believe in the process, and that's why they are encouraged, so that they will not go back and be discouraged that nothing works in Nigeria. The whole world is watching. Kenya did it successfully. Nigeria, that is supposed to be the giant of Africa, we should not do any other thing different. The international observers have noted that the elections are flawed, and they have also encouraged INEC to do what is right. So we are employing INEC that they should do what is right. Let results be uploaded, results that are not, and they should prove it by letting us see it, just like the other speakers have said. And our supporters, we will not, our obedience will not be violent, and we will.
This conversation. Remember, it's still Ballot 2023 here on Plus TV Africa. We're hoping that when we come back, we'll address this, and we also hope that Justice here will be joining us also. Stay with us.
For upcoming artists to blow in
Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Proceedings at the Collation Center, the National Collation Center for INEC, were just put on hold till 9 p.m. tonight, and we're hoping that you are going to join us well and see what is happening there. Now we're trying to look at the issues that have come up during the collation of these results, how some parties have complained, even individuals have complained that a lot of things that are supposed to be are not there, and the ones that are there are not supposed to be there. For instance, if you go to the INEC portal, we've seen reports, we've seen videos of people who are trying to access it. We've seen result sheets from other states being put in states other than the ones that the result sheets are coming from. Let me just give an example. I'm not saying that is what happened here, but let's say a result sheet from Zamfara appears where you are, when you click a Do state, for instance. So things like that have happened. And then we've also seen where someone was trying to access results from Ekiti State, and what he saw was the face of maybe the ad hoc staff, maybe the youth corps member or any other INEC official, but it was a woman's face instead of a result sheet, and I don't know how a woman's face, kind of coincidence that could be, and if that is true, why all these things are happening. But in the face of all this, I do not know if we can survive a protest in the magnitude of the NSAS, for instance. So what everybody is talking about now is no matter what, no matter the anger you might be facing, like the Labour Party chieftain said, there are ways that these things can be addressed. But let's hear from the horse's mouth themselves. We have a communication analyst here with us, Ihechukwu Ibeji. Would like to hear your voice, would like to hear you talk to the people of Nigeria, especially the youths, how you think this thing should be taken. And after that, we also come to Dr. Adebayo to also readdress the people of especially Labour Party and the rest of Nigerians, how we should follow up this matter. Because this is our country, whether we like it or not. We need to be here peacefully and resolve whatever issues that we might have. So let me start with you, Ihechukwu Ibeji. Tell us what, in your own words, should be the way to go.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you so much for this. At a time like this, Nigerians must first take in retrospect of the NSAS issue and the way it nosedived and the way it ended. That NSAS campaign, which started in an altruistic manner, eventually did not end in that way. It ended with the destruction of lives and properties. At this critical time of our lives, at this critical time, abide by the law of the land. I believe that the law of the land will definitely, certainly, will come to fruition and bring law and justice for this particular case. Because going into any further kind of protest that could eventually turn violent, especially with the way tension and the way the entire place is so tensed up, will not just be the best for us at this point in time. We must see how we follow the Constitution through and ensure that we follow the law to the matter so that we will continue to...
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ihechukwu Ibeji, for your comments to the people. Dr. Adebayo, I know that Labour Party, whether we like it or not, has been the game changer in this election because nobody expected Labour Party to, at least the big ones, the big names in the political space did not expect Labour Party to get to where they are right now. And so they enjoy a lot of themselves obedience. Please, a final word to the people. Dr. Adebayo, can you hear me? Please unmute yourself and please just say something to the people.
Okay. All right. I will first of all want to thank all the obedience. Your name, obedience, is really working for you. We are obedient citizens of Nigeria. I know many people did not expect to see that we will be the game-changing party. But we knew we did our hard work. We worked for it. Obedience, I know you work for what you have got. And I know that there is so much pain right now in the land because of the level of disenfranchisement and what is going on. The world is waiting for Nigeria. Obedience, we cannot afford to degenerate into anarchy. We cannot afford to go into the streets We cannot protest and cause any more loss of life than we have already had. We have had people that have lost their lives, some people that have been amputated, some people traumatized, injured. We do not want any more of this. Obedience, let your name be what it stands for. We know in Labour Party, we are not troublemakers. We are not violent people. We express ourselves. I want to appeal to all obedience. Please do not go violent. Just know that we need to gather our evidences and it will be used at the appropriate time. Our leaders have told us that we should be calm. Just make sure we have your results, your EC8A, the original copies, kept so that at the right time it's a way of anarchy. And also, we also want to appeal to our president.
All right, thank you.
You said you want to leave a legacy. Leave this good legacy.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Adebayo. Well, you've heard from them, from Ihechukwu Ibeji, communication analyst, and Dr. Adefolasheye Adebayo, Secretary and Mobilization Officer of the Presidential Campaign Council of the Labour Party here in Lagos. Thank you so much for your words of advice and everything you have said today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, anyhow that you can, maybe online, offline. But the thing is, why I'm saying this is that nobody should ever tell you any results from anywhere if you do not hear it from INEC themselves. So we'll do our best to join and then bring you that information. But be sure that you get the authentic information and do not declare anybody a winner until INEC says so. That's how it's been on the show today. Tomorrow we'll continue wherever we've stopped today. My name is Nyamgul Aggaji. Have a lovely night.
From Adamawa State, northeastern Nigeria. I attended an introduction course in conservation biology, and I realized this was what my passion was. After I completed my master's in the UK, I knew I wanted to come back to my country. I knew I wanted to come and work for conservation in Nigeria and nowhere else. Before WCS took over managing the ranger activity, about 10 to 20 elephant carcasses were recorded, killed by poachers annually.
Feeding, only the name was existing, but
and huge threats that they would kill elephants because elephants have gone out to destroy their farms, destroy their crops.
a duk gaba ɗaya jakore su amma da kai dai mai gona je kore kayansa ko wani damuwansa da kuma lokacin ma mutane ba su da yawa ba su yi gonakai da yawa a kusa dajin kamar yanzu ba.
We believe a couple of elephants were killed in the past because of the problems with crop reading. Then I got the opportunity to do the CLP program with WCS Nigeria. It has a very good collection of very passionate people working for the same cause, and it's been very great experience for me.
Before Nacha came, we didn't have any conservation outfit per se. But when he came, he put things in order, he put the rangers in proper perspective.
Working with Yankari Rangers has been really a great experience for me. It took me a while when I took over to understand them. So I got closer to them, spent more time with them, visited them in their homes, ate the same food with them, brought them so close that I was able to understand what are some of their needs, what are their problems. So when we took over, we were able to work with our partners, get them some firearms, some ammunition, uniforms, boots, kit bags.
My boss is a moral man. Enjoy staying with him and enjoy working with him.
Over time, the number of elephant carcasses went down, the number of patrols increased, and we can see poaching going down. I identified the 6 communities that were most affected by elephant crop raiding. I went around and had meetings with the chiefs and told them about the initiative, and I told them we have funding to have 2 people from their communities who would work with us as elephant guardians. So we trained those people on safe and effective ways to chase elephants away from the farm. Yankari has the last viable elephant population in Nigeria. The last elephant carcass we recorded in Yankari was in 2015 in May.
Yankari Game Reserve is an endowment given to us by God, and we are trying to protect it and preserve it. The glory is coming back, and this will be attributed seriously to Nacha's foresight and dedication.
I look at the rangers sometimes, the success stories we have, it's one of the driving force I have that keeps me going. I said, if in such a small time we've touched this number of lives and we've made these changes, then I cannot give up. It's something that is so dear to me. It's something that I've sacrificed my life, I've sacrificed so much for.
Nacha is Yankari and Yankari is Nacha.
It's our ladies' night out, and we have the ladies and Jay, Jennifer, and gorgeous Mary. Hello, ladies. Hi. I don't know. I'm so in love with Mary's new hairstyle. Before she will surprise me again with something else. Well, Mary, how are you? How's your day?
I'm good.
You look amazing, by the way. Some son. Jenny, baby, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. There's so much tension.
Right.
I I'm trying not to be sad.
Right.
I'm putting up a brave face and I'm hoping and trusting in God for the best possible outcome. And then my network provider wanted to stress me today. Not that they wanted to. They stressed me. I was so tired. Like in my room, and then my friend was in her room. We both screamed at the same time because we used the same network provider. And we both shouted, and we came out of the room. Frustration. I was tired. But we thank God. We thank God all in all.
Right.
Give thanks.
NJ Mama, how are you?
I'm good.
Hmm.
I'm alright.
Mm-hmm.
I had a good day at work, though it's slightly frustrating, but
We move.
this too shall pass.
I have just been paying bills.
Man.
God help me to. We'll be playing you a video. Today's quote will be a video because we cannot shout. So it will not be that it is me that said it. So here's what we found as today's quote.
On this note, let me seize this opportunity to respond to a story emanating from a section of the media that the Commission has decided to jettison the uploading of polling unit level results in real time on election day. It should please be disregarded as fake news. The Commission will upload polling unit level results and citizens will have access to those results in real time as we upload to the polling units. This innovation was introduced by the Commission. The Commission cannot turn around and undermine itself. So this technology has come to stay. We'll upload polling unit level results from the polling unit. Citizens will have the right to view these results. After all, who are we serving? The citizens. How can we deprive citizens from access to the results of the process conducted by them at the level of polling units? So I welcome you to the Commission. I want to assure you and reassure you that the 2023 general election is going to be our best ever elections. We are committed, and that the votes cast by Nigerians will determine the outcome of elections, nothing more.
So based on what you just watched, do you think that INEC has delivered a credible election? That's the conversation we're having tonight. It's our Ladies' Night Out. As you already know, NJ, Mary, Jennifer, and I will be discussing the topic. Has INEC delivered a credible election? That's the question for tonight. And when we open our phone lines, we really love to hear what you have to say about this. But first, let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll see what we found in the news. All right, thanks for staying with us. Now, today is National Science Day. On February 28th each year, it marks a special celebration for Indians. It's the anniversary of the day Indian physicist Sir C.V. Raman made a significant scientific discovery. Today, National Science Day showcases the importance of science in every life or everyday life and gives regular people an opportunity to see how scientific innovations can improve lives and encourage societal development. I mean, I don't think we can overemphasize what science has, done for us as a people, how it has helped to change our lives. So many things that, we thought were impossible, but, with the advent of science, it has really, really given us, transformation generally, right, in our lives. So I know that India has one of the brightest minds when it comes to anything academics and all of that. So it's not a surprise to me that they have dedicated this day to science, right? So I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I know how much science has impacted in my life. I used to say that if I was in a different clime where education was probably priority and all of that, I'll probably be a pure scientist, because that was how much I loved experiments. I loved, just trying out new things and all of that. But again, when you stay in an educational system where you're only encouraged to just regurgitate, just cram it and just go and, regurgitate. And so it just discourages every fiber of curiosity in you. And I think what fuels science is the curious mind, right? So it is when you're curious as a person, then you then decide to say, you know what, I want to go and experiment what is in my head, and we barely have those opportunities here with our educational system. And that's why you see a lot of young people that leave this country that have that kind of capacity. A lot of them are doing exceptionally well. Go and check the brightest mind in Silicon Valley. Most of them are Nigerians. So, I mean, when we say certain things, I'm moving to governance now. When we say certain things, it just affects everything, right? As simple as, just basic everyday life, it affects us. So science is important, and I hope that we can also improve and get to celebrate a day as well in Nigeria where we would bring out all the bright minds that we have in that regard. Because I didn't have what's in the news, I have taken up my time. All right, so Angie, what did you find for us in the news?
My what's in the news today, it's a report about how 2 voters were reportedly shot dead by hoodlums at the polling unit in Edo State. So this story took place obviously on Saturday the 25th of February, where Elizabeth Osadebe Wen, I hope I got that right,
go ahead,
went to cast her vote at Ogege on Saple Road in Benin City, Edo State.
Go ahead.
Thank you. After voting, she remained there to monitor, and during that time that passed, there was a fracas, and the polling unit was attacked by hoodlums, just like we saw all over social media happening in different states. And in that process, there was a shootout, they were shooting in the air and all that, and she and another individual whose name was not, mentioned, were part of the casualties of the election day. And this is just one of we have different ways that we are mourning. Some of us are mourning the election results, and some of us are mourning...
Actually mourning lives.
Actually mourning lives, people that lost their lives and they were just coming out to carry out their civic duties. So our heart goes out to her family, and we pray that they would be consoled during this time for this kind of loss.
And I hope they bring those people to book. I hope so.
That's a tall order.
Because there's nothing like, injustice when we don't even find the people that, perpetrate some of these crimes.
Yeah.
Okay. Jennifer.
So fire got tanker under Blue Line Rail Bridge. So LASIMA, which stands for Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, in a joint operation with the state's Fire and Rescue Service, were able to put out a fire that engulfed the gas tanker. So basically what they said was that there was a spark from a generator nearby, which caused the fire. But we thank God that there were no casualties, nobody died, so they were able to put the situation under control.
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
On that note, your story, Mary.
Following the Turkey earthquake, Nigeria donates $1 million to Turkey. The Federal Capital Minister, BALLOT, and other delegation were received by the Turkish Foreign Affairs Minister, and they expressed their condolences from Nigeria on behalf of the president, and they handed the promissory note of $1 million to Turkey, as rescue for their citizens. Had also donated 10,000 blankets on behalf of the African First Ladies Forum to the humanitarian efforts in the country. So it's good that we're doing the Lord's work out.
Always yours. So, yeah.
So when that story broke about the Turkey and the president, donating $1 million to Turkey, somebody said, Ma, I didn't know that Nigeria, could afford that, I mean, and it's interesting that I'm hearing you all talk about it this way, because again, to the average man, the picture that's been painted is that Nigeria is broke, Nigeria is we just need to throw money at it, right? There's a problem, there's a major problem in Turkey. There are other forms of assistance that could happen, right? For a country that that you have a lot of internally displaced people within your country. A lot of people are not able to feed. A lot of people are living. We have millions of people living under the poverty line, right? The poverty markup, based on global standards, right? Are not able to have a decent meal per day. And then you now go to play Big Brother, while people in your home, right, are suffering. They're not able to access food and all of that. So you see, before an American will carry money and say they are coming to give to Africa, they've also made sure that they have put some things in place in their home. So you see things like open kitchens, you see things like social securities, you see things like, welfare, where people that don't have job, they give them stipends to be able to at least go shop. Sometimes they give them meal vouchers, they give them shopping vouchers and all of those things. These things exist as social welfare, right, that they give to their citizens. You haven't done any of these things, and you decide to say you want to take, money. Right. So that's why a lot of people would have this kind of reaction that, oh, I didn't know we had this kind of money to give, because people are actually suffering in Nigeria, and I think, the awakening that has happened, right, within us as a people, all of these things, we need to begin to question every single thing. It's not just enough for you to play Big Brother. Have you played Big Brother to the people that are within your country? And are they, being taken care of before you then decide to say you want to take care of those people outside? I think those are the kind of questions we need to begin to ask our leaders. Right, on that note, I am calm today, and I pray to stay calm. When we come back, we want to discuss the elections. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I'm going to Lagos. Let me look for Lagos. This is Lagos. So I'm clicking on it. Then I'm going to Lagos mainland. Since they said they give us a figure I don't understand. This is Lagos mainland. You can see. It is the result for Lagos mainland. Now you can see I'm going to Auto Idu. Said it's completed. Let me show you. So it's completed. Now let's go for Auto Police Barracks. You can see Auto Police Barracks. That's the first one. I'm clicking on it. Okay. Let me click on it. Guess what I'm saying, guys? Guess what I'm saying, guys? You can see cancellation. You can see cancellation. You can see. Can you see? Can you see? This is the APC outcome. See? You can see? You can see the figures. They changed everything. They changed everything. Can you see it? Can you see? Everything was changed. We need to start checking up all these things, because I don't believe that figure that said that is Lagos mainland. That is a pure lie. You can see it. Now let's go this.
All right, so as seen in this video and numerous videos that are flying all over social media, it is really clear that the election results, is believed, or we suspect were being tampered with by INEC officials, right? Now, despite the apparent anomalies, or the reading of the election results continues as Nigerians await who will emerge the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, based on the promise that the INEC chairman Mahmoud Yakubu made a few months ago, and I quote, "The 2023 general elections is going to be our best. We're committed, and the vote cast by Nigerians will determine the outcome of the election, nothing more, nothing less." Do you believe that the INEC chairman and the INEC as a body has delivered a credible election? Now, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-4663. You can also tweet at us at Wayshow Africa1 with the hashtag Wayshow. All right, so the credible election, yes. In terms of the process of the electing, the what's it called, thumb printing. But the part of the collation of the results, and is where I'm having a big issue with the INEC as a body. The fact that INEC did not deliver on the promise of uploading results at polling units, it already leaves a lot of room for suspicion, and it leaves us in a state where anything that is thrown at us, right, like this falsification of results and all these accusations that are flying around, it will be easily believable, right? Because we refused to, we refused to do the right thing at the point of voting, after voting and counting, which was simple. You were supposed to just upload our results there and then. But you did not upload those results. And now a lot of speculations are ongoing, and it seems to me like the body language of the INEC chairman is, I'm just going to continue with what it is that I'm doing, right? As far as I'm concerned, I only have 2 jobs, because I've heard a lot of arguments that, the man has only 2 jobs. It is whatever they present to him from the state level, all the state reps bring to him, that's what he's going to announce. So his job is so I don't get that part. So what happened to the part of your responsibility on delivering on the promise that was made, that calmed everybody down? And I said this thing yesterday, and I'm going to say it again. For the first time in the history of Nigeria, right, I saw people come out en masse, believing that their PVCs was going to speak the minds of, in terms of the kinds of leaders we wanted to start to elect going forward. And that's why people believed in that process. They believed in INEC because INEC had promised months back that Beaver's machines were going to be used to check things like overvoting, things like, rigging of elections and all of that. So now these elections were good. Why was this? And this was the same narrative across all the polling units. So this is not even going to stand. Because if you have said that this is the structure and you have failed at it, what was the right thing as the INEC chairman? What were you supposed to do? As far as I'm concerned, every polling unit that did not upload at the point of voting, those are polling units that have raised a lot of suspicion. And as the only sane thing to do is, guys, I'm sorry we failed you guys, but we'll probably need to redo these pockets of elections at this point because we failed. But no.
We can't do that.
But let me hear your thoughts, ladies, because I'm trying to be...
And they did not deliver, and I'll tell you why. First, last week, even on this show, we talked about offenses and penalties where electoral officials were not supposed to come late. And we had polling units where they didn't see their electoral officials up until 12 p.m., 1 p.m., 2 p.m. I think even in Lasso, around that area, they didn't even see them until 5. Someone had to post online and told everybody to come back, that the electoral officials were finally there. That's one. You had situations where officials got to the polling units and claimed they did not have ink. You didn't have ink. Fine. You had the server was down, we couldn't upload results, or they were trying to upload the wrong results. There were people, I saw videos where the officials told people straight up to their faces, we are not uploading it, do your worst. So people actually have evidence of these things, and it's really appalling, the fact that this is just done in broad daylight robbery, and it is very annoying. Now, how much? Look at the budget that was given to INEC to deliver Beavers, which I personally think that Beavers is so behind. You can't request for that amount and still deliver on something like this. We shouldn't even still be printing with paper. We had to do sensitization to tell people, oh, this is how to thumbprint, fold the paper this way, or do it this way. And that, in this age and time, we shouldn't be doing that. With the amount of money that was released, I don't think they've done their job. I don't think even from the beginning, they knew that they were not going to deliver. They were just selling us dreams. Up until now, they are still selling us dreams, and it is very annoying. I really want to commend Nigerians for actually coming out this time around. Like, people were excited to vote. People came out en masse. People stayed. I had friends who stayed at their polling unit. They went there very early in the morning and they stayed till 8 a.m. Sunday morning just to make sure that the results were uploaded. But then what happened? INEC officials still came up with excuses. Oh, we can't upload. Some of them, they've given them the result. It was counted. What happened? They mixed up the numbers. Put the actual numbers for presidential in the senatorial column. And the lady said, mistake. And people were looking at her. What do you mean by mistake? We all calculated this thing. You were here. We calculated it. Everyone was shouting. And all of a sudden, you're making a mistake. And guess what she did? She called her boss and said, oh, there has been a mistake. What do we do? The boss said, okay, give me a moment. I will come back. I'll come back to meet you. 2 hours. People stayed there under the rain. It rained. Under the rain, they waited. Her boss did not come. So everybody asked her, okay, what are the next steps? What are we going to do? She said, and that she will have to go to their office so that they can upload it. People said, no. The instruction was, you upload at the polling unit before you leave. So why? And this was the same thing everywhere. So who gave the order?
NJ, quickly, because I hear that our phone line is already buzzing.
Are we back to the opinion that INEC did not deliver?
On anything.
And on anything. So
I'm trying to be nice here.
I'm not even talking about how much. You see, that, like she said, like Jennifer said, the beavers machine. They didn't go through a training session. And money was designated for all these activities. There were no, they didn't have stamps. The changes, a lot of polling units were broken down into other new polling units and without information to the general public. So that morning, a lot of people were confused. I went to my previous polling unit, only to find out that it was now moved to another location. Now, I had a lot of people, I and a few other people had to start helping out people who, if my polling unit, the results were not uploaded. And in most of the polling units around me.
Of course. That one is our main matter. Mary, quickly.
It's crazy.
What can I say again? It's so sad and it's very disappointing. But for me, I think I'm more perplexed by how, like, there are individuals that are being used for these things, and I thought it was a common grief we were facing, as a people. I thought everybody was truly tired, but it seems like not all of us are truly tired. Some people, I don't know how far you're going to let greed take you, but I mean, this is just totally absurd. How you have like NYSC people that have not even started life, you have not seen anything, and you are comfortably, like, what stops you from, I know that you're under duress to also change these figures, but some of them are even doing it willingly. It's like, it's part of nature. And I'm just thinking, I thought we were all suffering this. I thought we all wanted change. So what happened?
It's interesting that, you're mentioning this, because you would think that the problem that we are all facing, everybody is facing it. And somebody should just know that, beyond this, how much they're going to give me, what happens after 4 years, right? But you see, those conversations, I have moved on past all that thing. You said somebody left at 8 a.m. I left polling unit at 10:30 a.m. My sister voted at 3:30 a.m. We counted votes at 5 a.m. After counting votes, to even fill result sheet safe, it was war. There's a video that I saw online. It's a comic video, but I think it just depicts the exact thing that happened across all polling units. If they can pull out that video. After the video, we'll go on a breakdown. When we come back, I would like to open our phone lines early. If you can watch this video.
Madam, Take am easy now. This one will just pack your bag. You never upload the result.
Madam, upload this result. Upload this result. Don't they ask since
Madam,
morning?
upload now. Wait till this one
now.
now.
Since morning. First of all, you say na ink. Nah, I don't know what's happening again.
Madam, you don't even know when I come here. Oh. You never even wake up when I come here. Oh. Upload results.
I think you were here now. The BVA machine is not working.
Which one the machine no dey work again, madam?
Madam, we don't want hear anything. Upload this result.
Madam, oh yeah. See Wi-Fi take. See Wi-Fi take like this. Take Wi-Fi.
I cannot use your Wi-Fi. Hello, sir. Yes, sir. Okay.
Madam, you know they move, oh.
Madam.
So you go there here, upload this result before you go.
It's not my work now. My oga have not called me to.
Oh, your work. What you come here come do, madam?
But why you can't carry machine come? Please, ma, talk to the press. See.
I don't.
Please, ma, talk to the press. See.
I don't know now. I just come work.
You know what come here. Madam, sit down.
Come work. I come to work here. I don't know because.
Madam, please, can you talk to the press, please? This is Arise Connect. Can you talk to us, please?
All right, so if you just tuned in, it's our ladies' night out and we're discussing the topic, has INEC delivered a credible election? Now, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-4663. You can also tweet at us on Wayshow AFCO1 with the hashtag Wayshow. Now, our phone line is now open and the number to call is 070-2500-7749. That's the number to call. Remember to turn off the volume of whatever device it is that you're watching us from, so we don't get a feedback, right? Turn it off. You know that skit, it was comical, but exactly, that was the exact body language of almost every polling unit I visited. So I visited about 4 different polling units outside of mine, and there was one in a particular area that it took the police DPO to bundle the INEC people because we were insisting upload the result. First of all, they insisted that they didn't know how to fill the result sheet. They said they didn't know how to fill the result sheet. Oh yeah, okay. We finally made them to fill the result sheet, upload the result. There's no network. It was just so many crappy things. We have our first caller for the evening, Wale from K2. Please keep it short, 60 seconds. Go ahead. Go ahead, Wale.
Hello.
Go ahead, you're live.
Good evening, ladies.
Good evening. You have 60 seconds, Wale.
The question there is capital. No, they have not done anything good. But a writer to it, I want to advise on 11th of March, we should take this anger and go to change.
So on the 11th of March, right, we should go out there and do the right thing. But I want to say that for me, I think we should demand integrity from this point, because we cannot mortgage our future again for another 4 years. So I don't have a problem with this, whoever is winning the election. The problem I have, and I keep on saying it,
is the process.
It's the process. Right? Whoever emerges, as long as the process was done with integrity, everybody is going to take the results.
Yeah. Fine.
The problem, and I see a lot of people discussing in different quarters. My voice is going to rise, Abby. I see a lot of people discussing in different quarters, and I keep on re-emphasizing the fact that it is not that somebody is winning that is my point. When we have finished counting and we saw the numbers, we should have nobody was going to argue this with anybody.
We wouldn't have this issue.
We have someone from Adamawa State. Comfort, you're live. Go ahead, you're live, Comfort. Quickly, 1 minute.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Please, ma, my own suggestion in this election is that. Hello?
Go ahead, Comfort.
Why another result is showing?
Thank you, Comfort from Adamawa. So she is suggesting that we redo the elections. You see, and this is the voice across everywhere. And this is not and let me tell you something. If INEC understands the sensitivity of this matter, you would know that you want to either break or make Nigeria. Because it's a simple thing. You know, nobody was going to argue if the story, it was the language across board. How all of a sudden, the thing that you had promised that this was supposed to be the integrity check, that's the one thing that failed. Everybody saw results. Everybody counted results. Everybody was jubilating at polling units. Do you understand? And then upload the result. It was no. Then all of a sudden, we now start to see different videos surfacing of altered results. It makes no sense.
For me, it's shameful to see how someone is cancelling on the sheet.
Was counted and we forced them to upload. But all the PUs, they were having the same problem. So I think wherever we have issues, the election should not be cancelled. But wherever we have issues, there should be another voting in that place.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Michael from Lagos. Do you agree with him that...
I totally agree with him. I don't think that... because I feel like it will cost us a lot more in order to cancel this election and to have another one.
What's it going to cost us?
Election comes at a cost.
The 100 million that we just gave.
Elections come at a cost as a country. So I think
it comes in billions.
It comes the machine itself is in millions. So you can imagine the elections.
Well, we just gave out
the staff,
one
result. Would that not be multiple?
Are they going to agree to that one now?
Would that not
are
be
they going to agree to
polling
the
units?
fact that
but how many? That's almost offline.
So it's
hello, are you hearing me?
Go ahead, you're live.
Okay, what I'm saying is that despite the unfortunate fact that our next chairman will betray the Nigerian. Are you hearing me?
Go ahead.
So what I'm saying is that where...
Oh shoot, Michael, you have to call back. We can't hear you. The line keeps breaking.
So for me, I understand how everyone feels, but I feel like the total, what it will cost us, and I'm not just talking about finance, what it will cost us as a whole to do the entire elections again in all the 36 states of the Federation. It's a lot, even psychologically. So I feel like all the states of the Federation.
I was going to say that, I was going to ask you that cancellation of unused ballot sheets, how did that go for you? Because to get them to even cancel ballot sheets, that one was another war.
So there were different instructions, you know. I was first of all surprised that the NYSC staff had this whole massive booklet that had, so they had time to print it. They had time to prepare. And still these guys were as confused as I don't even know what to say.
Let me take in the visit from Lagos. Undebisi, you're live.
Yeah. It's our turn. So somebody cannot come and put Satan for Gary for us. This said we share this country. Everybody go away.
No, Ndubisi. Let's not advocate for violence, please. It's not enough. I think this is just an opportunity for us to sit down and actually resolve this issue with a lot of legalities. I mean, we are not here to fight or say, let's go our separate ways, let's separate. No, let's not call for those kind of things. I mean, this has just exposed the level of corruption. And I mean, from what Mary was saying, that are you not seeing that you too, you're suffering? It tells you that, you see, poverty, I have always said this on this table, that poverty is a weapon. You understand? A lot of people have weaponized poverty. You're only seeing it just in action now. Because even when there are opportunities for you to actually change the course of your country and change the narrative for your country, you are not putting it in play because you know what? That poverty has beclouded your sense of reasoning. But let me take Loma from Abia State.
Yeah.
You're live, Loma.
My dear sister, good evening.
Good evening.
You people are associating with beauty. Good evening.
Thank you.
See, I want to let us know one. Based on this question that I just referred, to me, it sounds rhetoric. INEC has not delivered a credible election. First and foremost, I want to ask INEC chairman. You told us that you will upload the result from the polling unit. Have you done that? Wonderful. Since I was born till now, I am getting older. I have never seen this type of election since I was born. I will never call for violence. I will never call for violence. I am using this opportunity to tell the federal government, heavily led by our president, who wants to live a good liberty of the credible election. This election must be cancelled. Because if we allow it to stand, which means a government that maybe operates in illegality will take over, and we don't want it. So we want a free and fair election when you defeat me as a candidate, I know that you defeated me. So what I want to tell is that let them suspend it, because listening to you, the international observers, all of them have condemned this election. So I'm using this opportunity to
I think it is only wisdom for you to hear Joss. You know, there's so many people that called in and the reviews were massive, right? Even the peanut offers that people are being given. Don't give us peanut result. It's as simple as that. Let me take Benjamin from Edo State.
Hello?
Hi, Benjamin, you're live.
Yes. Good evening, everybody there.
Good evening.
Yes. Even before I went to cast my vote, I told God that whosoever that is smart, let you win. So tell everybody, whoever that is complaining, if you stop complaining, that whoever that wins is God set. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So he believes that whoever is winning is God sent. Okay, let's agree with you. It's what you have to say.
I mean, all we asked for was a free and fair election.
Simple. If whoever so what will fairness be to you? What would fairness have looked like for you? Anyone here?
Upload the results from
at the polling units. Yes.
And to be fair, I feel like if you want to rig, you can even still rig.
No, you can't rig it. That was why they had to.
If they sit down and think well about it, I think you will still be able to rig.
For me, I really feel ashamed to be a Nigerian. I think we've become a laughingstock in the Committee of Nations. When you see foreign observers sitting there and they're just looking at us like these old people, 200 million plus, are confused. I feel for a long time the people have allowed the leaders to do whatever they will at the expense of our lives. And at some point, as a people, we would need to stand up and make them understand that without the followers, they can't be leaders.
Thank you.
So much money was spent on this election, and it's just a sham, a shame on a nation like ours.
Thank you, Benga.
I feel really bad. Good night.
It's actually embarrassing because if you look at technology, right? I mean, we have tech people here. You go, no, say, this thing not be. In fact, and guess what? That beavers would have been able to I would have been able to use it to just even
put into this project. We could have done better. We could have gotten state of the art. Like, we would have gotten something way better. Now, that particular machine can actually do a thumbprint. So we didn't need to do the thumbprint we did. If everything was followed how it was supposed to be in terms of registration, which means we did biometrics during registration. So we had facial recognition.
We had everything.
We had biometrics. We had everything.
We had everything.
So the only accreditation that needed to have been done at the polling units
was that you are the one coming to vote yourself.
There were 3 ways of even identifying you as an individual. Your card. If your card is not reading,
your thumb.
If your face is not reading,
your thumb.
So there's even your VIN. We can even do your VIN because your VIN will station and give us papers. Then that could have been.
Are we ready as a country to actually go for a clean election?
No, we're not.
Let me take Joy because we're losing. We're losing a few calls. George from Lagos, you're live.
Good evening, ladies.
Good evening.
Yes, I have a lot to say, regarding to what is going on.
Keep it short, please.
But I will rather not speak all I have in my mind so that I can give room to other people to treat them equally. If you begin to show more love for one particular child, definitely the other children of yours result cancel. It's very simple.
Thank you, George.
If you notice, some people have already started protesting at Abuja. If we don't take this so serious, very serious, something very bad might happen. We don't pray, and we don't want it to happen.
Thank you, George. You know, so, and I'll say this again. I don't know how else I want to say this, right? Integrity was completely lost with this system. As long as you, and you know the funny thing, with that video that we played as the quote for the day, the promise was so strong. This will be the best election ever, the most credible election ever. And it's the complete opposite. Do you understand what I'm saying? Rigging happens in every elections. Even in the election that appointed the current president, it was rigged, right? But you see, what we were hoping was this time around, we could control it with the Beavers machine, right? Because you cannot take away rigging. And that's why they will tell you, oh, the machine failed, right? They can't rig it once they've uploaded. So let me answer Mary. Don't worry, I don't know where your story is coming that you can see. You cannot rig it. So that was why they insisted that they...
Yeah.
Go ahead. Oh, did we lose him? We're sorry. You know, so they cannot alter those results once it's been uploaded. So the point is, we went back to Stone Age election, where because elections have always been, it is at the point of collation, that is where Magomago happened, where they transmit results. They tell you your result is coming from Kaduna manually. You'll be driving to Abuja to go and submit results. That was why they said, okay, no more transmitting of results manually. It is going to be electronic transmission, which means that right from the polling unit, it goes straight to INEC in Abuja. So they see the results immediately. Do you understand?
I mean, we saw some of the uploads where in Lagos, it was Kwara's papers were
don't go too far. My own polling unit, what they uploaded in presidential was the House of Rep result sheet, and it was even blurred. Let me take Sunday from Kwara State. Sunday, you're live. I'll be Kogi State.
Yes, from Kogi.
Go ahead.
Hello, good evening.
Go ahead, quickly. You have a minute.
Yeah, we so much appreciate the...
Out of time. Go ahead.
So riding on technology, my school, this is the university I went to, we do this attendance thing at night, like a roll call. So we used to use ID cards, just come sign on paper. But they said people were not showing up. So because they wanted to take from the school, they've collated everything, and then you will see it the next day that you were not in your hostel at night. So why couldn't we do this?
It's not for lack of technology that we're not using electronic voting.
I'll take my comment.
Go ahead.
It's just laughable how this election was conducted. In hindsight of the promises, they are all crooks, to put it nicely. David from Rivers State.
Go ahead.
Hi, ladies.
Ladies, INEC has not delivered a free, fair, and credible election. Both elections were shambolic. It's a shame to the ruling party and INEC. I follow your program, but my messages seems hanging in the air. Sorry about that, Adi. Just like bank transfer networking problem in this country. So there's another comment that says, I agree with Mary, because pictures can always be manipulated. INEC is corrupt, so whatever goes to their servers can definitely be manipulated.
You think so? Good evening, my dear beautiful sisters of What Are You Saying Ways. Has INEC delivered a credible election? I will go with my dear beautiful sister Jenny. The answer is a capital no and nothing more. Secondly, I really don't understand why in INEC we have a group of unrepentant criminals. One of your callers made mention of repeating the election, which I agree, because the figures I am seeing in the election result is very fraudulent and disheartening and highly unacceptable. I am in the same boat with Sister Uwa, I should say, but I'll leave it here. Thank you so much, Daniel Ilo. You know, I think we'll just, we'll have to wrap it up here. The phone lines are like going off the roof, right? I just want to say to INEC, right, this is beyond you. This is your country. If you want your country to, everybody's watching, right? Let's for once in our life just do something right. We are not asking for too much. If you failed to transmit those results at the point of polling, you have failed in this election. Jennifer, they would have uploaded, then they'll go and do the rigging after. But because they did not upload it, it meant something that maybe truly that machine was supposed to check this rigging. And that's why they did not upload it. I still stand to be corrected. I'll take the quote for the day, right? Before we go, ensure you follow us and across all our social media handles. Remember, thank you so much, ladies. Let me not forget my manners. But the quote for today, I know it's a mouthful, so I'll just give you the video so you watch it again.
On this note, let me seize this opportunity to respond to a story emanating from a section of the media that the Commission has decided to jettison the uploading of polling unit level results in real time on election day. It should please be disregarded as fake news. The Commission will upload polling unit level results, and citizens will have access to those results in real time as we upload to the polling units. This innovation was introduced by the Commission. The Commission cannot turn around and undermine itself. So this technology has come to stay. We'll upload polling unit level results from the polling unit. Citizens will have the right to view these results. After all, who are we serving? The citizens. How can we deprive citizens from access to the results of the process conducted by them at the level of polling units? So I welcome you to the Commission. I want to assure you and reassure you that the 2023 general election is going to be our best ever elections. We are committed, and that the votes cast by Nigerians will determine the outcome of elections.
As you've heard him, was this the best election that we could do with all the promises? I leave it to you. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 8.
On Plus TV Africa, and indeed election round the ballot 2023 right here. Indeed, of course, we've been giving you updates and of course analysis and coverage of Nigeria 2023, Nigeria Decides 2023 right here on Plus TV Africa. My name is Kofi Bartels.
And I am Mercy Ebopo. Kofi, it's good to have you.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Mercy, it's great to be back. You're looking immaculate as always.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yes, indeed. I'm sure our guests who are standing by will agree with that. We have Chris Kende Wando joining us for a discussion as we look at the unfolding announcement of results. Chris, good morning.
Good morning, Kofi. Good morning, Mercy.
All right. Chris Kende Wando, of course, is a chartered arbitrator, UK certified chartered arbitrator, and he joins us live via Zoom on The Breakfast this morning. Mercy, you know, it's been quite interesting. Yesterday, we were awaiting the results of the River State elections for the presidential elections, of course. Not all the local governments had returned their results. We heard that about 2 local governments were left from River State, but it seems like there was a slight tweak. The APC presidential candidate was leading in most of River State, but when the Port Harcourt local government area results came in, the lead of the APC presidential candidate in River State was chopped. Council, leaving PDP's Atiku Abubakar with 7,303 votes, and the All Progressives Congress Bola Ahmed Tinubu with 5,562 votes. That's for that Port Harcourt City local government area. Mercy. So with these results, Obi, got the lead in only 5 local government areas, but he overtook Tinubu, who also led River State since the beginning of the coalition with the wins in 12 local government areas. I'm reading a report here that says Obiakpo, Ahoda West, and Degama are being expelled. I think Degama may have come in. So as it stands, Peter Obi has 163,033 votes to lead Tinubu. Mercy. You know, Port Harcourt is a big state, but most of the river state are concentrated in the urban centers. So you have Port Harcourt. Now there are 2 local government areas in Port Harcourt City local government area and Obiakpo local government area, which is one of the richest local government areas, in Nigeria. I think second richest after, I don't know whether it's one of the local governments in Lagos. So the INEC headquarters, INEC Coalition Center in River State is in Port Harcourt, where you have Obiakpo local government area, where you have Port Harcourt City local government area. It's called Falga. So, people were wondering why you had all the local government areas in River State, even though you have to cross water, to get to it, speedboat, sending in their results, but Port Harcourt City local government area and Obiakpo local government area had not sent in their results at the time. And also, someone asked on a space I was on, Twitter space, a couple of nights ago, why most of the violence in River State, political violence, ballot box snatching, ballot paper tearing, a lot of the violence we've seen, and some of the inability of INEC staff to access the beavers because of password failure. And so we're asking why it was concentrated in Obiakpo and Falga. And I asked, I think, Opunabo on those local government areas to be able to get more votes. And you can see just one local government area, Mercy, which is Port Harcourt City local government area, came in last night and Obi took the lead. Okay. With just 5 local government areas. But another interesting thing is that the local government chairman, let's start from this point, the coalition officer for the local government had to be brought in by the commissioner of police in River State. There was a sort of a distress call. She said she couldn't leave where she was because the politicians were harassing her. The politicians were harassing her. She said supporters of some political parties were harassing her. So she had to call for the CP. The CP had to leave the coalition center to go and bring her himself because she said she was under some sort of detention. And when she came in, the reports we have is that the local government chairman, of course, the governor of River State had given a directive, to the local government chairman to deliver their local government area. So we told that the local government chairman of Port Harcourt City local government and his officials, who were not accredited to be at the coalition center, the state coalition center, followed them in, and they were frantic, they were panicking, they were pacing. In fact, the reporter told me that the local government chairman was shaking. So that is what happened, and Obi has taken the lead in River State.
But just before we talk about Obi's lead in River State, one of the things that we saw play out yesterday, of course, we're going to be sharing the thoughts of Chris Kende Nwandu as to the protests of the opposition party, the election results. So after that, we had INEC said that there will be a resumption at the coalition center. On around 11 o'clock, that was yesterday, which was Monday. And so shortly after that time, party agents, Nigerians as well, on different social media spaces, also online, had protested the result of that was ongoing at the coalition center. And that's where we want to share Chris Kende Nwandu's thoughts as to this development. Now, their consensus was that the process of the entire electoral process was not respected, as to the fact that the Electoral Act of 2022 had stipulated that results will be transmitted via the beavers and would have real-time transmission. However, it felt like the Electoral Act had said. There were also different interest to that. We also saw how members of this opposition party walked out of the coalition center at the FCT. Chris Kende Nwandu, what do you make of this? The opposition party protesting election result at the coalition center.
Personally, I think the INEC has lowered the bar, as it were, in this election. and there seems to be a lot of compromise on his part because based on the guideline, the INEC has already read that he said there will be smooth transmission of results where the beavers, and that transmission is what INEC is supposed to be reading out at the collation center. But unfortunately, the INEC chairman seems to, for whatever reason, seems to have other ideas, and the Labour Party. There were issues that were raised, but if this election is going to be as fair and transparent as the INEC chairman promised Nigerians, then he has to do the needful. Trying to say, oh, no, there's no problem. Whatever I'm reading out, they're reading out here is already what we have. And don't forget, as of Sunday, most of the results, so many people started crying out about this, that INEC later in the night issued a press statement that it was having problem with the server, but that they are trying to do something about it. So what the INEC chairman is doing, for me, is compromising the system and making it doesn't make it look transparent enough. And that is an issue, as it were. But the question we ask ourselves now, between the devil and the deep sea, which one do we go for? Are we going to stop the election, collation of the results by former President Olusegun Obasanjo yesterday on the issue, and they provide some solutions to that? I think INEC should try to be as transparent as it were, so that this election, which seems already compromised, people will start doubting the
Chris, but the bone of contention is not as to, we know the bone of contention, whether the process should continue, because those who were protesting, we saw the likes of Dino Milai, we saw other party agents at the polling unit. But saying that we're waiting for them to upload the result, which means election, how many hours after the elections then, that results should be transmitted? According to the Electoral Act of 2022, that the results will be uploaded. It will be real time at the polling units, not when you get out of the polling unit to the ward and get to the state center before all of this is uploaded. So I'd like to ask you, do you think that the arguments that the opposition and Nigerians are having are valid? Should the coalition continue? Some persons have made reference to the fact that INEC has a constitutional obligation to conduct the elections, and so the process should continue because it's within their discretion to continue it, and then maybe the people should face the tribunal.
I said that this process to me is already compromised, and what the political parties are saying is the right thing. But don't forget that INEC also has the right to either continue. They are the one that determines, or the INEC chairman has the power to either continue the collation or listen to them. And so, for me, it was even more intriguing that apart from APC, that was urging the INEC to continue with the collation, every other political party that spoke yesterday, we are against it and asking the chairman. But the chairman seems to agree with APC, and that is why it's doing what. But as I said, this election would seem compromised if INEC does not follow its own rule of making sure that those transmit. Because if you check through those results, and the political process are saying, as you are reading out, we are checking online to see what you are reading out, whether it's the same thing that our own agents at the police station, police booth, and at the local government collation centers and rest of them. But don't forget what the INEC chairman through the various rests is giving is just a roundup figure of the voting in the states. They just call the results in the states party by party and sign off on it. But the political parties said that as they are calling out, they want to make sure that they are following through the. And I'm wondering why INEC is finding it difficult to do this, because they already did it in Anambra, they did it in Osun, Ekiti. So why is it that INEC is finding it difficult to do that nationally? Don't forget what happened, that most Nigerians, most of those police stations also have issue having this problem of transmitting these results through the BBAS, that is INEC officials. People finish voting as late as it were, and as I was saying in another station yesterday. So I personally, if you ask me, I would have just believe, and I would have just asked INEC to just sit back and find out where the problem is coming from. It's better that we solve this issue once and for all. If you make any complaint, they said let the results be collected and announced. Any aggrieved person should go to the court because they know they will get their way in court. We cannot continue waiting for the court every time and say it is wrong for you to say people should wait, let the system finish if you are aggrieved. Most often than not, we realize that they don't even get justice at this court. So it is better we get it right rather than we spend over 300 billion for this election. That was the taxpayers' money that INEC was given to conduct this election. What are we talking about? How are they not getting it right? Very baffling to me.
All right, Chris, very interesting. I mean, we all were witness to, now I don't know if we can roll the tape, but we all were witness to the actions of Dino Melaye, the man that some would like to call the dinosaur, who refused to be cowed, refused to sit down, and vehemently continued to protest the Ekiti election results, which came in, and it was clear for everyone to see that the number of those who voted were more than the number of those who were accredited. In other words, there was overvoting. The INEC chairman had a simple logic. What was his logic? His logic was that where they collect all the ward results, at the state level, where they collect all the local government results, and then at the national level, where all the state results are collected. Now, he said every objection, every protest for the results ought to have been done at the polling unit before the results was sent back to the state to look to the ward. And then if they have problems at the ward, because they're collecting the polling unit results there, the party agents can lodge their protest there, you know. So once those are signed, it may be difficult for the state, collation officers to start going back to unit by unit by unit. And if it's signed in the state, it may be difficult for the national collation officer, who is the INEC chairman, or the national returning officer rather, who is the INEC chairman, to agree that they will start going, to the results state unit by unit, for all the units in the country. So he says if they start that, they won't leave there. So what do you say to this? That the protest should be at the unit level, ward level, even maybe state level.
Well, to a large extent, yes, I agree with him. But even at that, if you protest at the ward level and local government and state level, and they did not listen to you, you also have opportunity of also expressing yourself at the national level. The INEC chairman is the coordinating officer for the national election, which is the presidential election. Don't forget that we also had some other election on Saturday, that of the House of Representatives and Senate, which were dealt with at the senatorial level. But if there are discrepancies that were raised, then the national chairman of INEC ought also to look at it. But he said something yesterday after we go over voting in that result. So it's between him and the political parties. If political parties have evidence that there was overvoting and the results that were voted, then it is for them to be able to bring it to the fore for Nigerians to see. Then talking about Dino Melaye's protest, every Nigerian has a right to protest in as much as it's not violent. He was protesting that his party was being undermined in the process of the collation of the results under the Constitution of the Republic of Nigeria. And I think he made that. Yeah.
So, but Chris, if you look at some of the concerns of Nigerians, not just those who were at the collation center, these are party agents. The major crux for the conversation is the mode of transmission of results. Results were to be transmitted electronically. Well, they were asking how anything could have happened, and we have seen pictures of results being doctored and mutilation, however, on the papers. So there are also, queries as to elections not happening in several places due to violence. In some places, the elections didn't really happen because of insecurity issues.
without repeating myself, I think this issue has been addressed that most of the things I said earlier. I even gave the instance of my village where results would not be transmitted. So, and I've said it that INEC, the national chairman of INEC, should be able to sit back and be able to look at most of these challenges, which he himself and his commission have agreed they have. When they talked about the issue of the server and that they're having some glitches here and there, which as of today, I have not gone there. I was following. We are supposed to have about the total polling units. It's supposed to be about 176,000 or thereabouts. It's 176,000. I doubt whether INEC has concluded up to 66,000 or thereabout the last time I checked into the server. The first thing remains that if INEC said that the result will be transmitted, and that the result will be displayed transmitted to the servers, and it will be displayed for political party and Nigerians to see as the result. They cannot go back. I saw the press. Don't also forget that there have been a series of press conferences and counter press conferences. The PDP had a press conference yesterday, which is a communication head of communications and spokespersons led by Dele Momodu. After that, the APC also quickly came, and they also had theirs. That was also headed by Dele Alake, where there were accusations and counter accusations. Both of the APC we are saying that it's not compulsory that the INEC must display those results that we are transmitted to the server. There's nothing that is. Professor Kiyamu actually was saying that during the conference. But from all intents and purposes, we are holding INEC to his words that this result will be transmitted electronically, and that everybody will be able to go to the portal and see what is like. So if he's failing in his promises, then there is, to us as Nigerians, there's a lot of compromising going on, and that in itself, the international committee, international observers have already started issuing statements on the election. I'm sure you must have seen that of ECOWAS, you have seen that of EU, you have seen that of NDI and IRA, which is observers from the United States. And you've seen some of the things that they have altered to a large extent the credibility of INEC and what it did on Saturday. That in itself, to me, is a terrible one. But INEC can still redeem itself by making sure that.
Look at the next focus on this discussion. I'm glad to say we're joined by a legal practitioner. Paul Ejime is also on Zoom. He joins us live in Lagos. Paul Ejime, good morning to you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Little correction, I'm not a legal practitioner. I'm a global affairs analyst.
All right. Apologies.
So thank you for having me.
Apologies. Working with what we're told. All right.
No problem.
Yes. So before we get into the shift of imbalance of power in Lagos State, what it seems to be happening, what are your thoughts on the legal angle? We look at the Electoral Act 2022 as amended, and the guidelines, regulations and guidelines for the conduct of elections, which is what they have with results coming in from different states. 1 + 1 is equal to 2. That's very clear. But when 1 + 1 it becomes 3, and then you accept it, then it could be questioned. But the INEC chairman is saying this is not the place for that. You had 4 different stages. There are 3 stages before now: the ward level collation, where the RA/ward collation officer could have been, shown those issues, and then the local government collation, and then the state collation centers. We cannot go into individual itinerant results from units here at the National Collation Center, is what the INEC chairman has been saying. I'd like to draw your attention very quickly to certain provisions of the Electoral Act, and then you tell me what you think about it. Subsection 60, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2022, as amended, says that the presiding officer, after counting the votes at the polling unit, shall enter the votes scored by each candidate in a form to be prescribed by the forms, which after it has been duly signed, and all that. It says that the presiding officer shall count and announce the result at the polling unit. And 5 says the presiding officer shall transfer the results, including total number of accredited voters and results of the ballot in a manner as
On Plus TV News now. Federal government slams former ADC ask INEC chairman to resign. Demand cancellation of presidential poll. French President Emmanuel Macron plans a noticeable reduction of French troops in Africa. Good evening. I am Maureen Menong-Wezigwe, and this is News Now. The APC Campaign Council has enjoined the presidential candidate of the people, Tinubu, saying the February 25th presidential election has already been won by their candidate. The Special Advisor, Media, Public Affairs and Strategic Communications of the APC Presidential Campaign Council, Dele Alake, made this known at a press conference.
Continue to announce results that are yet to be transmitted as expressly stated in the relevant sections of the Electoral Act. The integrity of this election has been compromised and vitiated by the admission of INEC officials that there was a technical glitch in the midst of the election which affected the effective functioning of the BVAS machines.
The presidential candidate of the ruling All Progressive Congress, BALLOT Tinubu, has won the presidential election in Benue State. Tinubu polled 310,468 votes to beat his closest challenger, Peter Obi of the Labour Party, who secured 380,372 votes, while Atiku Abubakar of the PDP got 130,081 votes.
We regret to state that we've lost confidence in the results being collated and being announced. Nigerians have inundated us with calls and protests over INEC's non-compliance with provisions of the electoral guidelines and the obvious manipulations of the election results. We hereby call on INEC to suspend further announcement of the results and over INEC's non-compliance with provisions of the electoral guidelines and the obvious manipulations of the election results. We hereby call on INEC to suspend further announcement of the results and follow its own guidelines or completely cancel the entire election and make plans for another election with strict compliance with the stipulated laws and guidelines.
We don't need to incite anybody. Nigerians came out in record numbers, the way they haven't come out since 30 years ago. The last time there was that level of turnout was in 1993. And they are currently engaged in electoral fraud. It is for them to maintain peace on the street. We have only called for calm at this conference. We have not at any point in time sought to exacerbate things. They actually want us to be fighting. And we are not interested in fighting, and we urge Nigerians to be calm.
The Labour Party candidate Peter Obi has won the presidential election held in Imo State with 352,904 votes. The returning officer for the state, Charles Esimone, who announced the results, said that Bola Tinubu of the APC scored 66,171 votes, while Atiku Abubakar of the PDP got 30,044 votes. The returning officer mentioned that the result for Njaba LGA was not collated due to violence. Presiding over the ongoing election process, is passed a vote of no confidence in the INEC chairman. They also called on the outright cancellation of the presidential election. The vice presidential candidates of the Labour Party, Obi Dati Baba Ahmed, and the PDP law by not uploading the election results to its online portal. They described the elections as a sham, adding that it was neither free nor fair. The House of Reps candidate for Labour Party in the just concluded poll, Emilia Ezudo, has expressed dissatisfaction with the process of the election. She alleged that the election was flawed, citing overvoting and rigging by the INEC officials. Our correspondent Paul Judge reports.
NNPP 8442.
Concerning the election, who's the Congress candidate?
The people trooped to vote on Saturday and expect their will to reflect in the results of the ballot. Lo and behold, the enemy of our democracy, who have sold their conscience to the devil, perfected their act of rigging. There is clear evidence that there is sabotage of the electoral process to give room to chaotic, fraudulent collation with our Electoral Act 2023.
She adds that the youths are tired of the shenanigans of the ruling party and want a country devoid of thuggery.
Doctoring and engineering to arrive at a predetermined result instead of the original result from the polling unit. The vote cast at the polling unit against the clear provisions of our electoral law. This criminality cannot be allowed to stand. These shenanigans was prominent, shall be contested, and the original result shall be defended in the interest of justice. We appeal to citizens of Jeremy Ifalodu Federal Constituency to remain calm and law-abiding.
The campaign DG of Labour Party in the constituency, Ike Oyabo, reels out the words where the alleged irregularities occurred. His words are corroborated by the party agent who was on the ground.
The INEC people cajoled our officers to sign it, and they said they will remove like 500 votes from that of APC. You cannot remove 500 votes arbitrarily. How did they get 2,000 excess votes and you now remove 500 arbitrarily? One of the polling unit agents that refused to record for Labour Party in his own polling unit, he refused to come. He came there around past 4.
There was a polling unit where we noticed it was overvoting. We spoke to the rec and he said it's not in our place to defend it or counter it. It's there for INEC to notice it, and then if they want to take any action, they should. Why shouldn't they correct it at that level since it's happening within the same environment rather than leaving it and adding to the results? I wanted to make a video. One of them said he was going to hit me, one of the collation officer, and the people around me raised fracas and asked him, why do you think you will intimidate her and tell her you want to slap her if she makes a video?
The candidate is confident she will get back her mandate. Paul George, Plus TV News.
We do apologize for the initial mix-up in the visuals. Going forward, the federal lawmaker representing Ohaje Gbema Oguta, Oru West Federal Constituency of Imo State, Uju Kingsley, has urged INEC to cancel the House of Representatives election held in his constituency. Kingsley insisted that the election was marred by irregularities while accusing INEC staff of colluding to rig the poll in favor of his opponent.
Started beating my own agent, inside the collection centers, and came outside. All the ward agents that came to drop their results, to drop all these results, these are all ward by ward results. You can see them. These are properly collected at the polling center, well signed, adequately signed. While they were inside there, those policemen, the killer baby came inside. I was beating my agent. Where I have 175 in the polling booth, they will give me 1. And where I have 82 or 96, they will give me 2. Did not have the password to upload the beavers, and it took them, when the policemen from government house came, was actually, when they felt they've rewritten their result, was when they now gave them password to start uploading the beavers. But they didn't know we have our original results from the police.
Nigeria's former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, has said it is no secret that INEC officials at operational levels have been allegedly compromised following the manual transmission of results, which has been manipulated and doctored. Obasanjo made this known while addressing newsmen in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. He said most of the results that are brought outside beavers and server are not true reflection of the will of Nigerians who have made their individual choice. The former president, however, appealed to the INEC chairman to save Nigeria from the looming danger, which is just waiting to happen.
A lot of money was spent to introduce bimodal voter accreditation system, BVAS, and the server for immediate transmission of results from polling units. It is no secret that INEC officials at operational level have been allegedly compromised. A lot of money was spent to introduce bimodal voter accreditation system, BVAS, and the server for immediate transmission of results from polling units. It is no secret that INEC officials at operational level have been allegedly compromised to make what should have worked not work and to revert to manual transmission of results, which is manipulated and the results doctored. The chairman of INEC have been corrupted, and most of the results that are brought out that Your Excellency do not pass the credibility and transparency test, be cancelled and be brought back with areas.
President Olusegun Obasanjo not to truncate the ongoing electoral process in the country. In a statement, the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, said Obasanjo presided over the worst elections since should be cancelled. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has asked parties aggrieved with the results of the do not include the calling on the INEC chairman to resign or for the election to be cancelled. The PDP has been declared victorious in 2 out of the 3 senatorial seats in Plateau, while that of Central Plateau was declared inconclusive by INEC. The PDP also won 5 of the 8 houses of rep seats, while the ruling APC grabbed 4. Meanwhile, poor results for Jos North and Bassa have been suspended following the invasion of the collation center by thugs who disrupted the process.
Avia Musa Aga, PDP, scored 68,208 votes. That Avia Musa Aga of PDP, having satisfied
Our state, Amadou Fintiri has ordered security agents to be on red alert over circulating plans to disrupt peace in the state. In a state broadcast, Fintiri urged citizens to uphold peace and allow the process to go on until a winner emerges. He accused some non-governmental organizations injecting divisive tendencies in the psyche of the people.
For the peace-loving people of Adamawa State, you have nothing to worry about, as government has put all the necessary security measures in place in keeping with our promise of safeguarding the lives and property of our people. No election is worth the life of any citizen of the state. I therefore urge our citizens to uphold peace and allow the process to go on until the winner emerges. It has been discovered that most non-governmental organizations have swallowed the bug and are dabbling into politics in the name of providing humanitarian assistance to the people. Government cannot fold its arm and watch such so-called NGOs mislead the people and inject divisive tendencies into their side. In view of the foregoing, and in furtherance of our desire to reorder the electoral behavior of our people and remove the influence of NGOs who have reduced the statutory mandate to be that of one of vote buying machine, government has decided to suspend the activities of local and international non-governmental organizations throughout the state until the 15th of March 2023.
A non-governmental organization says its observers who were deployed to monitor the elections in some of the polling units across Osun State recorded 97% of orderliness. It, however, observed that there was no assistive electoral materials and data for people living with disabilities in all the polling units.
To all polling units across the state, it further observed 96% of early commencement of voting, namely by 8:30 a.m. across Osun State. The beavers, which was used for accreditation of voters, was observed to have been deployed to all polling units. It, however, functioned in 99.73% of the polling units, which JDPMC observed. There was malfunctioning in 0.27. This is derived from the fact that of all the polling units observed, only 8 polling units had beavers malfunctioning, with 2 resolved. 6 were not resolved as at 3 p.m. There was a general atmosphere of orderliness in at least 97% of the polling units, with proper spacing to allow for the open secret balloting. Ad hoc personnel of INEC in all polling units did not have data on persons with disability in their polling units. They also confirmed that no assistive materials for such persons with disability were deployed to their polling units.
Still ahead. Key to become NATO member in long-term perspective. Details when we return.
An African girl somewhere is sitting at home, accompanied by dreams that seem so far away. Africa is one of the continents with the highest out-of-school percentage in education, and girls are at an early disadvantage. The sub-Saharan Africa records about 18 million out-of-school girls. This gender gap extends to the tech space, with a projection of only a 33% global female workforce representation in tech firms for 2020. 2022. Let us help change the stories and numbers. Africa Agility's Project Train a Girl campaign is working to help train African girls in tech. You can donate as little as $2 or 2,000 naira to help a girl in tech get her heels in the door. Visit www.africaagility.rallyup.com/PTAG to donate.
Welcome back. You're still watching News Now on Plus TV Africa. Residents in the economic capital of the Côte d'Ivoire have reacted to the announcement by French President Emmanuel Macron that the government will reduce the number of troops in Africa. He was speaking in Paris ahead of a four-nation tour of Central African countries as France seeks to counter growing Chinese and Russian influence in the region. According to Eugene Maye, a sanitation officer, the news is a welcome idea. He said the nation is independent and does not need another army. Established a high-level steering panel for the country, but Tilly said the panel will be responsible for facilitating the adoption of a legal framework and a roadmap associated with a timetable for the elections and advancing a consensus around related issues, such as security elections and the adoption of a code of conduct for candidates. Proposed changes to Mali's constitution would bolster the president's power and reduce the status of the French language. One project it initiated to ensure a return to civilian rule following an election, it says, will be held in February of 2024. If approved, the president would also be responsible for appointing and firing the prime minister and government ministers and being visited by the coming of China Square retail outlet of general merchandise whose prices are on average 45% lower than those prevailing in locally owned enterprises. China is Africa's top trading partner, and more than 1 million Chinese are estimated to reside on the continent. Squashed between the mountain slopes and the Atlantic Ocean, impoverished residents of Sierra Leone's capital, Freetown, are running out of space to build their homes. In desperation, they are constructing houses on land reclaimed from the sea in a process known there as banking. This involves piling up layers of tires, rubbish, and sacks of earth on the water edge, packing the ballast with mud, and then building their homes on top. The Federation of Urban and Rural Poor, a community-based organization, estimates some 198,000 people live in its seafront settlements.
Have found a solution called banking, or building up an area on the seashore.
So most people were actually migrating from the rural areas up to Freetown, and over time the population of Freetown also increases, and that's actually had a whole lot of increase in demand for housing, and that's resulted to people actually inhabiting some.
French President Emmanuel Macron has said that he will not allow France to become the ideal scapegoat in Africa. In a speech ahead of a trip to the continent, some African countries have criticized France for failing to curb Islamist militancy in the Sahel region in particular. Macron also said he refused to be drawn into an outdated competition with powers for control of Africa. He'll travel to Gabon, Angola, Republic of Congo, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Going outside of Africa, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg has reiterated that Ukraine would one day become a member of the alliance, but said it was a long-term perspective. Kyiv requested a fast track of NATO membership last September, 7 months after Russia invaded it. NATO said it has an open-door policy to Ukraine, but has not said whether it will accelerate moves towards Kyiv's possible accession.
All NATO allies made an historic decision to invite both Finland and Sweden to become members of the alliance. So far, this is the quickest accession process in NATO's modern history. the important thing now is to support Ukraine, and then no one can tell exactly when this war ends. But when it ends, we need to ensure that history doesn't repeat itself, that President Putin cannot continue to attack neighbors. And therefore, we need to strengthen the military capabilities of Ukraine, but also look for frameworks that can ensure that President Putin, Russia, doesn't invade Ukraine yet another time. So what NATO allies have agreed that Ukraine will become a member of our alliance, but at the same time that is a long-term perspective. What is the issue now is to ensure that Ukraine prevail as a sovereign independent nation, and that therefore we need to support.
Crashed early on Sunday against rocks near Setako di Cotero, a seaside resort on the eastern coast of Calabria.
Ti dispiacere, me lo dai dopo. France, dimmi. Dove sei?
Up next, well, up next is business news. Stay with us. And in business news, the latest Federal government in Africa released the report in conjunction with IGU with focus on gas for Africa. The study assessed the potential for domestic gas resources to energize Africa in line with the global energy transition. The African Energy Commission and the African Finance Corporation endorsed the report and its findings. And the total amount of currency in circulation in the country dropped from 3.29 trillion naira as of the end of October 2022 to 1.38 trillion naira as of the end of January 2023 as a result of the naira redesign policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Figures obtained from the CBN showed this represents a drop of 1.91 trillion naira in the 3-month period. Although the global best practice was for central bank to redesign, produce and circulate new local legal tender every 5 to central banking system in October and November and rose to $75 million. And the CBN stated in its November economic report that non-oil export earnings rose by 16.9% to $0.40 billion from $0.35 billion in October. According to the report, analysis by the Direction of Trade revealed that Brazil was the major destination of non-oil export products with a share of 13.7%. Exports to the Netherlands were 12.2%, 11.6% to China, 6.7% to Belgium, and 6% to Japan. The major commodities exported were urea, which accounted for the largest share of 21.0%, followed by cocoa beans with 20.2% and sesame seeds of 9.3%. Receipts from the top 5 non-oil exporters declined by 13.7% to $0.15 billion from $0.18 billion in October. And meanwhile, the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Ibrahim Pantami, has said that a committee led by the chairman of the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, Professor Adiolu Akonde, will advise the federal government on the appropriate measures to take
in protection of the nation's cyberspace and ICT infrastructure from potential attacks, especially during the 2023 general elections. Pantamiru represented President Muhammadu Buhari during the inauguration of the committee in collaboration with other relevant institutions towards intercepting potential cyber attacks. And that's business news. Thanks for watching. I am Destiny Momo. The news continues shortly.
Seize it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Bookie November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect them. If you no talk, then go beat you. Now 2,500 they pay.
For me, I wanted to change that culture.
You can leverage on each other's spaces and, sell. We believe in Nigeria, right? We believe that Nigeria can get better. We, the youth, are the ones that can make it better.
8 p.m. and repeats on Saturday at 8:30 a.m.
How can we have peace without justice?
And just before we go, look at the main news again. Federal government slams former President Olusegun Obasanjo over his comments on presidential polls. PDP, LP, ADC ask INEC chairman to resign, demand cancellation of presidential poll. And French President Emmanuel Macron plans noticeable reduction of French troops in Africa. And that's news now. For more stories, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And do subscribe to our YouTube channel at Plus TV Africa and Plus TV Africa Lifestyle. You can also view us from Limex on limex.tv and Glow TV apps anywhere in the world. I am Maureen Menong. Many thanks for watching.
It is engagement we need to have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers.
You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the barbing, I pay my rent. On the barbing, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment, and another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
I had no desire to study law, none whatsoever. I was more inclined to fine arts. My only ambition, I would say, was to become the chief prosecutor. For me, politicians are a bit too playful. That's what I believe. And since '99, we've seen how much investment in social events, in launching some streets that you just started, and the whole day will be.
Other board members, ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Queen Elizabeth Awu, Resident Electoral Commissioner for Anambra State.
Thank you, Queen Elizabeth. Scope. My name, the Honorable Chairman, members of the High Table, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Professor Mrs. Nena N. Oti, the Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Technology, Owerri. I am the State Collation Officer for the presidential election scope of 25th February 2023 in Anambra State. Here with me is Dr. Queen Elizabeth Awu, the Resident Electoral Commissioner for Anambra State. The result for the presidential election held on 25th of February 2023 in Anambra State are as follows. Figures are as follows, and I go to my spreadsheet. There I have the total number of registered voters, 2656437. 2656437. Number of accredited voters, 628,590. Votes received by political parties. A, 343. AA, 108. AAC, 112. ADC, 208. ADP, 299. APC, 5111. APGA, 7388. APM, 325. APP, 148. BP, 514. LP, 584621. NNPP, ERP, 62. SDP, 84. YPP, 1997. ZLP, 1420. Total valid votes, 613,861. Rejected votes, 10751. Total votes cast, 624,612. Is and 45 PU.
PVC is collected.
25027.
25027. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Any comments, party leaders? Agents of parties, any comments? Okay, please step forward and submit your report. Coalition Secretariat, any new arrivals? No new arrivals yet? Okay, we have 4 more states to go, and we are aware that they are on their way. So, okay, it's now 22 minutes after 10. Let's reconvene at 11. We are confident that they will be here. Let's reconvene. Okay.
Lot of challenges. The growing youth population with little engagement, that is a ticking time bomb. We are a blessed people with diverse culture and highly cerebral minds who have a lot to say. And yes, we are talking. It is important we drive the right conversation that informs, inspires, influences thoughts and action. If we say there's beauty in our diversity, then let us embrace our diverse culture. We must continue to courageously be the voice of transformation as we are the hope for the future. Yesterday's conversations shape today. What are you saying to shape your tomorrow? We know you have a lot to say, and we are here to hear you.
My baby, my Valentine. Yeah. Can I hit the make you what temperature there is? If you leave me a good time, I swear. You are like the oxygen I need to survive. I'll be honest. Loving the thought of me, I am so obsessed. I want to chop your heart. Never did it, my chemistry. Open up, make us see. Yeah, my love, one thing. Me make a bad man sing.
This is it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Bookie November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Hey, what's up, guys? You're welcome to another edition of Plus Event, and I remain your host, Ifeoluwa Oshukeye.
Your absence isn't an excuse anymore, as Plus Event is all you need.
I'm surrounded by so much positivity. No, it's okay.
Yo, what's up, my people? It's your boy Starboy Terry. You're watching
Plus Event on Plus TV. Stay glued to Plus TV Africa every Saturday and Sunday, 4:30 p.m. West African time.
For me, I wanted to change that culture. I didn't believe that until you see a white man or you see a foreigner in the kitchen before you can believe that, you know, good food is going to come out of that kitchen.
You can leverage on each other's spaces and, you know, sell. We believe in Nigeria, right? We believe that Nigeria can get better. We, the youth, are the ones that can make it better.
And my products are proudly made in Nigeria.
Made in Niger, showing every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. and repeats on Saturday at 8:30 a.m.
Businesses in Africa can be very challenging. In Nigeria, it is particularly intimidating, and successful builders have learned how to navigate a hostile environment to unlock opportunities. But one major challenge businesses face is how to filter through the noise and identify where their ideal customers exist. Get insight on Plus TV Africa.
It is engagement we need.
Send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment, and another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
Nigeria's Niger Delta region, from where the black gold fuels Africa's largest economy, where the lines between wealth and poverty has never been thinner. Conflicts, poverty, insecurity, and environmental challenges daily confront the region. How can the Niger Delta story be changed for the better?
Join Mamode Akuga at 9 p.m. every Friday evening on Plus TV Africa as he probes deep in search of solutions.
Inside the Niger Delta with Mamode Akuga, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region.
Oftentimes when we see celebrities either on social media, television, or in person, we assume they have it all together, but we forget that they're also human. Well, here are some of the low points of some of your favorite celebrities.
It's a long story, man, because after I left church, because I love music so much, like I've loved music right since when I was 9, from my primary school days, I love music. So I started working in a pure water company, where I was paid 15,000 naira in a month. I was earning very low salary then, but I had no choice. After, I started working at Loot again, Loot, Lagos State,
Like what? In what capacity?
Yeah, health attendant, yeah. Okay. I worked for 8 years.
Wow.
Where I gathered all my salary just to make sure, everything went well for me. But thank God, after the OSU, so many dirty jobs that I did then, but thank God today I'm here,
Even while I was Waji, I was squatting with a friend. I couldn't afford a house, I couldn't afford an apartment of my own in my early years as a musician. So, you understand? And even at that point, for every money that I made, I knew that my daughter was living with my mom. And I knew that it was my responsibility to cater for my daughter. So that I was squatting was no reason why I shouldn't be able to, work and give my daughter something, for her fees, my mom. So even the schools then, they used to spread the fees for me. Sometimes I'll pay up to 5 times. My first salary was 1,000 naira.
Wow.
And then I was in the university. I had not even entered the university, but I was a church secretary. But that 1,000 naira was enough for me to buy baby milk at the time, because I needed to do what needed to be done.
Without being too specific, it's just when I was making the transition from working from my grandfather's house to my own space, I went from having a lot to not having so much. So I thought I needed to quit, but it was just even actual reasons for me to keep going. So I don't need people to just, if they forget anything, they should just understand that if they need to keep watering, they need to keep ensuring the soil is good, and it's seasonal, but they are made of the stuff that roses will grow from, so they'll be fine.
Being an entrepreneur in Nigeria has been very difficult. For me, I started my business over 10 years ago, so we're looking at about 12 years now. The challenges along the way have been, many, to say the least. But I think one thing that has gotten me through is support. So whenever you're trying to get through a challenging time, look for people around you who can support you. I have a very supportive husband and family. My parents have also been very supportive. It was tough in the early days, but I think also having a business mind. So it's one thing to have passion, which is great, but you have to support it with a business mind. Absolutely, if you want to succeed and if you really want to scale in your business.
Oftentimes when we see celebrities either on social media, television, or in person, we assume they have it all together, but we forget that they're also human. Well, here are some of the low points of some of your favorite celebrities.
Hey, what's up? What's going on? It's Dice Ills, aka Mr. Miyagi, and we're just gonna give a few words to every up-and-coming artist or every dream chaser out there trying to be successful. I started off with just a dream and an undying passion to become Dice. Back in the day, a lot of people told me it wouldn't happen. A lot of people told me my dreams were too big. But one thing that I never stopped doing is I never stopped believing, and I never stopped having passion. And that's what you need to do as well. And when you ever hit success, never forget where you're coming from, because that's the only way that you can stay grounded. So believe in yourself, stay prayerful, and be passionate. One love. Bless.
Truth is, I've always wanted to be an actor in a terrain where people thought, oh, you may not fit in, this may not be the thing for you. I've always been desirous of being an actor, and one of my biggest people, mentors, or who I look up to, or the character I want to play, is even playing James Bond sometimes. But it's been a long journey for me. I didn't get here. Last year, 2019, I won Best Actor 2019 for Maya Awards, and I didn't get there all in one day. I've done a lot of things. I've worked in the bank. I worked in the bank for 9 years. I've done real estate. I've sold cars. I've sold lands. I've gone through the highs and lows. And initially, when I told people that I was leaving, I've been doing acting all my life. But when I told people I was going to leave and go full stream and full line into acting, people told me, don't go for this. I don't think that's what you should do. Maybe this is not for you. And it was a tough call to make. It was a tough decision to make, but I eventually decided that I was going to go for it. And I went from audition to audition to audition to audition to audition to audition till I got my first major job, and that led to my second, third, fourth, fifth. And I decided to go and upskill myself and go to film school, in the US. And I came back and I got a fantastic opening, a cinema movie where I played leading man with Omotola Jolade called The Tribunal. So it's been a very, very long journey. But one thing I can say is that whatever path you choose in life, as long as your heart is there, stick with it.
18 years down the lane, I'm still doing my thing as a stand-up comedian and also a master of ceremony. I've been through the vicissitudes of life. It was not like this before. I remember those years when when I was still in Warri, when I would go from show to show, looking for a platform to express myself. Thank God for helps around me, but it wasn't easy. Because I had to convince people that, oh, hey, try me out, I'm funny and all that. I had to trek many times. Even when I moved to Lagos, oh God, I trekked all kinds of distance just to attend shows, just to maximize the opportunities I had. It wasn't funny. I had to squat with squatters. I lived with people that were living with people. It was that bad, but hey, all our stories now. I'm here, and I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be. So don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your dreams. As long as you believe you can do it, yeah, in spite of the pitfalls, of the shortcomings, still move on. Stand up, dust yourself off the feet, off the ground, and move on, all right? There are more to conquer than you have conquered.
There was once upon a time in my life when I was doing this MC work and all these things, hosting gigs, and I did an event. I won't say the name of the organization. But when they say, oh, we'll give you honorarium, I'm like, yeah, okay, great. And it's not a small organization. And when they finished, I got 25K. So I used the money with the love of God, fueled the car, and then kept the change to buy granite sauce and got the egg on the road. You know that your creator did not create a joke. So therefore, just believe in yourself and your time will come. I love you guys. Thank you.
When I was younger, I had just lost my father. And it was at the time when, we had that television that you open and close like cupboard, okay? I know that a very high number of people may not understand this. And I came back. Our TV was not there, but our neighbor had bought a new kind of TV. It was colored, and all the kids in the neighborhood were sitting on the floor watching this TV. And then I came back from lesson, saw everyone sitting down there. It looked a bit different from ours, and the pictures looked finer because it was colored. And I stood by the curtain. And this lady just pulled the curtains together and shut me out. I felt bad. But I was also a big-mouthed young child. So I went to her and I said, because of me, you pulled the curtains together, right? The next time you look at your TV, you will see me there. It was a joke. I mean, okay, it wasn't a joke, but I didn't know how it was going to happen. But I just wanted to tell her that we're going to open up ROS TV. And guess what? When she put on her TV at 4 p.m., 2 months after, I was a continuity announcer who opened up that station. So don't be afraid and don't worry about how anyone looks at you right now. Worry more about how you see you. Worry more about what you intend to do with you. Worry more about how convinced you are about anything that you want to do. It doesn't matter. People can close their windows, close their doors, tell you to get out, tell you to sit down, tell you to go to bed. It's okay. They're not God. He has a final say. But guess what? You have the final work. Because if you don't work and work towards it, God is just going to stand there waiting. It is what you give to him that he will enhance. I hope this does somebody some good. We're all stars, I tell you. When you look up, you see a lot of them. I'm sure you're up there and shining, okay? So please, put some glow to your own star. Love ya!
The Nigerian film industry has continued to gain popularity across the continent and on the global stage. Even with its popularity and growth, it is still to be criticized on many fronts, one of which is that it is a quantity-driven industry as opposed to a quality one. Stakeholders have given certain factors for churning out substandard movies. Some have said budget restrictions, weak plots, repetitive dialogue, and the overwhelming lack of public-private partnership, not leaving out government participation. Since 2010, some positive developments have changed the nature of Nollywood. In this time, a film's release on VCD, DVD began to happen later in its life, effectively disenfranchising Nollywood's traditional mass-market consumer base. The question I am interested in answering are Nollywood's filmmakers becoming more specialized in their art? And was it gentrifying? I use the word metaphorically to explore whether Nollywood increased in grandeur. And has this become the domino effect catapulting skit makers and brand influencers into a whole lot of fame?
Put your account number here.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes, my dear.
Thank you,
yes,
sir.
Let me send something to you.
Oh, I actually think I remember, sir.
Eh?
Opopo Temungo.
Yeah!
Yes, sir.
You remember the conference?
Yes, I do.
You will go far.
Yes,
you will go far, my dear.
Well, the Nollywood structure has been of concern to many veterans, and one of them is Saeed Balogun.
I will appeal to the government to give us structure. And the government don't have problem. It is we movie makers. They tend to do riots in the state, carrying placard. It is the National Assembly that should give me a structure. Are they trying to make me powerless? Does he know anything about movies? He's just looking for where to be. He doesn't even know. It is one, we have a lot of us that can bring the revolution. About 5 or 6 of us in the assemblies, we can scream, we tell them, God damn you, you know what I'm suffering, you know what I'm going through now, so speak my language. But if you tend to put one honorable man there who was elected, who was and probably mechanical engineer or an economist or something, who doesn't even know my pain, we can't get it right. It is the structure. After the structure, yeah, the investors can now smile, because if you invest in me, put money on my table, I mean, there, you want me to put food on my table, put in billions and I'll give you back millions or thousands. Will you come back some other time? No, 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 no. When the government gets it right, the investors, please, if they are coming, I always tell them, please invest. An ambassador means you can represent your country everywhere. That is where professionalism comes in. A lot of people are just coming in from everywhere. We have more than 50 associations, 31 performing. What we're looking for, why can't we be one? A professionalism can come in when you have a strong structure that can guide it.
New talents are essential for growth and encourage new faces into the industry, but proper training is vital for theatre and, of course, film.
Training is critical, but we need to create a platform that gives everybody the opportunity to be trained, and then also we need to look at also some means of internship on productions, take people on and guide them. Even on screen, I think training is important.